And the funniest thing is that I didn't hit live right away, so we're doing a test stream. So I have luckily that I do have learned that that I have to hit live before I hit the record. So needless to say, it's great. I'm here with Marcus. We're recording another podcast. We're also joined by Lord Manny Hayes once again.
Hello.
I love the hello and then hello. You know this is a podcast as well, Manny.
Yeah.
It's not just a video show. You have to do the audio part. You can't just go, gotcha.
Well, the greatest thing about it is not
the
even
video that made sense to go like that. But in audio form, it's just like, I guess there's no one there.
I mean, it's not even a video show yet. No one sees this video but us unless the video is good, because last week, atrocious double echo video, a few people saw it if they made it through the link, but it was bad. It was really bad.
No, you talking about the Money in the Bank recap show?
Oh, the Money in the Bank recap show. Yeah.
That was some of our best stuff, guys.
Yep. I will never be able to do that again.
No,
never.
You can't repeat stuff, man. I really should have shaved my head before this. You
didn't shave your head?
No,
now
man.
Everybody's gonna know you're bald. But it's quarantine time. You're allowed to be ugly.
Oh.
Did Marcus name the show already allowed to be ugly? I mean, that's
you're allowed to be ugly.
I mean, let me write this down on my handy dandy notes just in case.
Wow! In 10 seconds, you're gonna name the show. We haven't even got to the meat and potatoes.
Well, Marcus, sometimes
what want to call the show Sean Paul?
No. Oh, here we go. We're gonna bring up Sean Paul. So
I just said it one time. I didn't do anything.
So we're going to try to get the show done in an appropriate amount of time, in, under 2 hours, but you never know when we get sidetracked and things happen because, Manny and Marcus together are a tandem that is hard to contain.
It's like Compton and Long Beach. You know you're in trouble.
Wow.
Our tag team name is The Tangent.
With that
just members of the Rough Bunch.
The Ruffian. With that being said, I guess it's might as well we get started in the show. I have decided, according to my format that I created, that we will talk about Monday Night Raw last because that was my favorite show, and I figured that I should start with the worst and end with the last. Because
now,
go ahead, Marcus.
Can I ask a question about the way the presentation of the show?
Okay.
I know this is behind the scenes, and we're supposed to record the show, but I had a few questions in the middle, and I didn't want to forget. Now, are you full screen by yourself, or do you have all three of us on the screen? And then when you introduced us, did you introduce us as you're in the full screen and you click the button and then you had me and then Manny show up and then such and such like that?
Right.
I'm just curious.
Right now,
I'm just curious.
Right now, we're in the trio view. Like we're all three on the camera. I'm in the middle. I'm the sandwich of this podcast right now. I mean the meat of the sandwich. And I might try when we start really doing the show. I might start trying to switch over to different screens and whatnot. I really have to take a tutorial, but I will point out that I think of all the software that I have to pay money for is the software that I like, which is.
But I have here's my other question. If we're a sandwich, when we have a sandwich, you have two pieces of bread and then you have the meat, and so the bread is always the same color. So, logistically as a sandwich, I would want to be an ice cream sandwich, so it'd be you on this side, me on the far left, Manny in the middle as the vanilla ice cream.
No, Marcus. How this sandwich is. This is a person who can't decide what type of bread that they want. They decide to get They want to get some dark rye bread. That would be you, and then Manny can be like the sourdough bread. And because of my darkness, I'm roast beef. So we're like a two different type of bread sandwich right now.
Can I give another suggestion of a sandwich?
Well, Manny has a suggestion because he has the
Go ahead. I'll let you say yours.
So before we started this, Eric, I was in the middle, which we basically became a peanut butter Oreo.
In a way, yes. I mean,
yeah.
But you're constituting yourself as a cream. I think you would be more of a lemon filling. Oh, wait.
Wait. I'm beige. I'm beige.
That's racist.
I'm gonna stop.
Why did you say that to me, sir? Why did you say that to me?
What's your name? Jerry Lawler?
All of a sudden, Manny's gonna do the ramen noodle moonsault?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Wow.
What are you gonna do? Go chase the Ethiopian with chicken on his back? Come on, man.
I mean, or get mad because somebody decided to have a baby and give up all the money of
Well,
being champion or being the face
let me
of the
go back
company.
to sandwiches, though.
Okay.
If we can be a sandwich, can we be the Thomas Brothers sandwich? Because we're brothers. We could be sharing Manny right now.
I don't
Just
want
like
to
That
share
sounds so
Manny.
wrong.
I don't want
That
to share
sounds so
Manny.
wrong on so many levels.
That's worse than my you could be a lemon Oreo comment. No, Marcus.
Earl
No,
Thomas and his brother, man, they were out there. That's the kind of sandwich we are right now.
no, we're not. Because I'm in the middle.
We're a Thomas train.
I mean, speaking of a train out of control, we might as well start talking about AEW. AEW started off with Jake the Snake and the Murder Hawk, who beat up a random hand in the back. Apparently, this is the Murder Hawk's gimmick. When he comes out to the ring, he has to toss up some production hand. I just don't understand why production doesn't get out his way. But the highlight of the moment had to be when the camera panned out to Cody Rhodes and his F-150, and he was ramming that engine, just vroom, 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 like that. And you really think he's about to make a big impact and just, like go a Stone Cold Steve Austin and drive through the glass. Instead, he revs it up to drive, I would say at most 50 feet to knock over one of those
5 meters. It was like 5 meters.
Yeah, 5 meters. I don't know. To knock over one of those expensive barricades that Marcus said that he spent so much time invested in when he was doing commentary. Marcus, did you enjoy his rage of coming in to the screen and going from there?
I want to chime in and say that is. Well, I hear myself. That was weird. But I want to chime in and say that was the absolute lamest version of somebody wrecking shit I've ever seen in the history of wrestling. Because you have Austin with the Zamboni, or you have Austin showing up in his truck and then he'd get out or something, or on a ATV or some kind of madness, or you have Kurt Angle in a milk truck. Cody coming in there, wrecking that bike rack barely gently because he didn't want to scratch his own car. He has bragged about this car on the show. You can tell he did not want to mess up that car. And so when he went into there, he was thinking, I want to wreck some stuff, but not my truck. And so I thought it was useless and unnecessary. He could have just ran in. It would have been the same. It would have had the same effect because he was a million miles away from anybody. He brought no harm to anybody. Nobody was like, oh, man, look out. Even announcers didn't flinch. I just thought it was absolutely lame.
Manny, I'm going to turn to you. How do you feel
Fake
about
rage.
this situation?
I feel like this week, in the last 7 days, we've watched 2 guys get thrown off a roof. Rey Mysterio have his eye nearly, I don't know what he was planning on doing with that eye. And then you have Cody driving 5 meters, caressing the guardrail with his car. And then the worst kind of brawl I've ever seen. I feel like the Murder Hawk should have stole his car.
I mean, in the situation for me, when I was really looking at it, I was like, this is not how I would have done the angle. I mean, last week, we can arguably say that AEW had one of their better episodes that they had in a while. I think everyone was invested into this week's episode because you wanted to see how would Cody react to the Brandy situation after Brandy said in her promo that Cody ain't gonna do shit. This ain't gonna get Cody riled up. Clearly, it got Cody riled up enough, but not enough to tear up his truck. So one thing I learned about Cody in this situation is that you can do what the hell you want to Brandy, but you ain't gonna mess up my F-150.
Well, maybe it was Brandy that said, you better not mess up my car. Like, I know what you planned. He's like, honey, I don't go in there. I don't get revenge. I don't go in there. I don't beat the Murder Hawk and Jake's ass. My whole plan, look, I'm going to go in there with my truck, and I'm going to go wham, smash right into it. And she goes, not in that car.
Where do you think Brandy ranks in things Cody loves? So I'm going to give you AEW, Pharaoh the Dog, Brandy. Did I say his car?
You did say his car.
So his car, AEW, Brandy, and Pharaoh the Dog. Where does Brandy rank?
Okay. Of all those things, I'm going to add one. I'm going to add Cody's tattoo or the logo, the Nightmare logo. I feel like he loves more than Brandy. So
Wow.
I would go his car, the way he rammed it in there, Pharaoh the Dog, His Nightmare logo, which he got on his neck, he has on his car, and on everything he wears. He's like Cobra Commander. And then there's Brandy, and then AEW, then Brandy.
I mean, like, to me, the whole segment was done wrong because, like, after most villains, after you do dirt, and we can agree that what Murder Hawk and Jake did, that was dirt. You know, like, you can't put a snake over someone's wife and then do a half attempt thrust and get away with it. So technically, they are clearly villains in this situation. The one thing I've learned from going to Villain University is that you don't go back to the scene of the crime. So technically, there was no reason for Jake and Murder Hawk to be there this week. It should have been Cody Rhodes waiting at the entrance of the AEW arena, hoping that they show up. Just hoping. And then when they don't show up, he finally gets so frustrated, he goes to the ring and says, "You fucking cowards, how could you not come out here? I'm tired of this bullshit, blah, blah, blah." And the next thing you know, you have the Murder Hawk and Jake the Snake in the woods talking about, "I bet you want to get your hands on me, don't you? But you can't." Like, that's the cheesy shit.
No. Did Billy you teach you that laugh?
Huh? Well, you know,
Did Billy you teach you that laugh?
Unfortunately, at Villain U, my laugh.
Is there laugh 101 in Billy U?
There is, and unfortunately, I got a C+ in that. My laugh is not as menacing as you know. When I got brought into the counselor told me that, I might want to pursue hero school instead of villainy because my villain level is not high enough to be there. So unfortunately, I was kicked out of Villain U. But I do remember the first original course is that you don't go back to the scene of crime. That's the first rule of the game. You don't go back. You just don't. I mean,
well, see, there's part of me that agrees with you in which that they didn't have to show up. Like, you can argue they showed up and fighting. I had no problem with that. My problem with the segment was the weak ass truck, and then them fighting I was fine with. But then the ending of the fighting just felt like they just had like a time limit to stop because they were still standing right there. There wasn't that much distance between them. And then I remember in the previous AEW when Jericho was talking all his shit in the skybox, Cody's like, "There's no invisible wall here to stop me from getting you." But apparently that invisible wall has came back because they were 2 feet away and Cody just stopped. Jake Roberts wasn't off the ring. He's an 88-year-old man who wasn't off the ring. He could have put his hands on him. Could have gave him the dudes. He could have went Mike Tyson and I'm back.
I thought for me in this situation, like, just the whole thing is like, once again, you're the villain in the situation. Why, as the Murder Hawk, are you meeting Cody halfway after he did that to the barricade? I would just been.
I accept that as being a badass.
I don't know.
I'm a villain, but that's a badass, all right? I'm not no Punk Beach.
You know what, Marcus?
You call me Punk Beach, I'm no Punk Beach.
See? Once again, I'm going to send you that link so you can join Villain University because, Marcus, I think you become a good villain. I mean,
I have a PhD in villainy.
Well, then they might not take you because they want you to be fresh and raw so they can mold you the way that you can be molded. But, I mean, overall...
If they have Dick Dastardly, I'll be super black Dick Dastardly.
Well, we're almost there. So... One of the crowning moments that really got me excited for AEW was finally the conflict between Chris Jericho and the man that he dubbed Pineapple Pete. And besides Pineapple Pete getting pyro, which is ridiculous in the moment, he had a slight promo, which I was a little bit disappointed when he decided he was going to embrace the name Pineapple Pete. Because he should have said, "This is why they call me Suge D." But then in the conversation Marcus had with me, he explained to me why Suge D could not be used. And at this point, I'm going to switch to Marcus. Marcus, why couldn't he go by Suge D?
Well, I don't care if he goes by Suge D, but the problem where I had a problem with, you wanted the explanation of why he's known as Suge D. You wanted him to tell the world, "All right, you call me Pineapple D. Well, let me tell you why I'm called Suge D." Well, his explanation would be, they call me Suge D because my name is Sugar Dick, and that's what the ladies think. They call me Sugar Dick, and you can't go by that. And I don't know if that's what Suge D stands for, but I know Suge is short for sugar, and I know D is short for dick, and I'm just put two to two together, and he's known as Sugar Dick.
Well, I mean,
and you can't do that.
But
that's why you don't give that explanation. My problem with his promo had nothing to do with him. It was him accepting the name. I didn't care as much. It was the green screen they used again. I'm so sick of this green screen. They used it for MJF, and then they used it for Pineapple Pete. I do not need this green screen. Me and Manny's background look better than their green screen.
Wow, well, you're very passionate. You're very passionate about that.
Chime in on this. I'm going to take a sip.
Manny, how do you feel about this?
So I learned when Pineapple Pete actually came out for his match that he was billed from Leeds, England, and I'm happy that he's getting paid. I'm happy that Jericho probably put his name on the map because no one knew who Shug D was prior to him being called Pineapple Pete. But I'm just going to say he's a disgrace to the kingdom.
Wow.
The United Kingdom. He is a disgrace to the kingdom.
Wait a minute. Of all the wrestlers out there from the UK, Shug D is the disgrace?
He's just one of the disgraces. There are many disgraces to the kingdom.
Oh, okay. Okay, just to clarify. Because I was like, he can't be the one. At least he's fighting Jericho and got his ass beat on national TV. But there's
I'm generally happy that he's got merch now as Pineapple Pete. He's getting paid during a very difficult time. Very happy for the man, but he's a disgrace to the kingdom.
Well, but I think for me, where I really became disappointed in the whole match is that I thought this was a chance to really put him on the map. I mean, we've said it week in and week out. AEW doesn't have many African American stars as it is.
I like to say minority
stars.
Actually,
he's not even African. He's like Afro. Manny, I guess I have a question because over here they call us African Americans. What do they call black people in England? Is it just a black guy?
So where I work, there's various divisions of BAME people. So like black, Asian, minor. I don't know what the M and E stand for, to be honest. But so you go from black British, and then it divides into black British, Somalian, Ethiopian, and then African, and all that other stuff. Yeah, so like a lot of them don't. It looks like a lot of people don't like being. This is from how we work is like it's split up. I would presume it's just black British.
Okay. Just call me black because I have no idea where my ancestors were. My culture was robbed. It was robbed by the white man. Okay. And if Eric were to go by the British version, he would be Black Belgium, right?
Well.
I
don't understand why you need to put my business out there with my Ancestry.com thing came up with, okay? So, you know, it's none of your goddamn business.
Black Belgium.
Whatever.
I'm black. I'm black.
I don't even know what that means. Yeah, but like I said, I was disappointed that Pete didn't have a better showing. I actually thought maybe he could have got some type of fluke win via disqualification because the Inner Circle decided to attack him, but instead we got a 1-minute job match. Like it
should have been. I don't feel like this was the moment to try to get Pete over.
Really?
Well, I don't think he's gonna get over. I think he's just a jobber. That's it.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of a successful wrestler named Pineapple Pete?
Well,
Colt Cabana.
I mean, yeah. I mean, but Marcus, that was the time that
his initials is PP,
which confirms even more about Shug D, what it stands for. I mean, everyone knows. Let's just move on from this. So the Best Friends, they defeated Jurassic Express. I don't think anyone cared about this match, but MJF got involved in this match and allowed the Best Friends to get the win. Is this a sign, Marcus, that the Best Friends may be trying to turn heel, or is this just something that will be forgotten about next week on AEW?
I think this whole match was put in and it's going to be a short statement. Because I feel like we're all over the place on AEW. This is no order of the show.
It's not. I'm just talking about what I want to talk about.
Oh, so we're skipping the women?
No, that's next on my agenda. Marcus, let me be a host,
okay? The Death of Vanguard 1? I feel like that was in the Shug D segment.
Marcus.
No, that was at the end.
Yes, can you let me host? That's all I want you to do.
Okay, Molly.
You are the talent. Oh, wow.
All right, Molly. Okay, you're a little blacker, so I'll call you Carrie Champion.
He can't even be Chuck when she hosts the show?
No, he can't even be Chuck. he carry champion. Or you know what? I feel I shouldn't do that either. You stay still, homie. You stay still. Just twice as 3, 4, 5 times as big. Anyway, what were we talking about?
This motherfucker going to Villan University right here. You were talking about the involved. You were criticizing my show older, but now you want to say something about Best Friends and Jurassic Express.
Oh yeah. Your show older. I feel like this whole match was put together so we can get the match between Phoenix and Orange Cassidy. That's all this match was for. There was a lot of stuff that happened in it, but the only thing that really stuck out is Ray Phoenix jumping out of the left field, the dropkick, Orange Cassidy. The distraction that didn't work.
Like Liu Kang out of Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah, just out of nowhere. And it was beautiful. Like, I felt like he had to have jumped off something. Otherwise, he has mad... Like, it was beautiful. It was the most beautiful dropkick I've seen on TV in a long time. Maybe even in any martial arts movie. But I feel like this was all about that, the setup for that match. Other than that, I don't feel like there was anything too much. There was not that much importance into it. It seemed like two good guy teams were fighting and blah, 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 blah. Oh, I'm done. I had nothing more to say anyway.
Manny, going to you, looks like that the social media director of AEW had more control because pretty much that Ray Phoenix kick just lead to the KO, like the same graphic they put up for what's his name? His name is not Walter. His name is Wardlow. There, I knew it started with a W. So, Manny, who had the better KO? Wardlow or the kick from Ray Phoenix?
I think the kick from Ray Phoenix had it because he had more agility. He had more agility than the 4 people playing basketball on Raw.
We're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. So clearly he doesn't have much. So moving on.
I don't know why you wanted us to talk about this topic. There's nothing happening in this segment.
What?
Yeah, I feel like we should have skipped this.
All the things to skip. I'm like the women took a back seat to this.
Fuck you guys. Anyway, so the Fatal 4-Way, you had Sheeta, Statlander, Penelope, and the Doctor, Britt Baker. In a Fatal 4-Way, this match made me so upset for the simple reason. It wasn't a bad match, but it was a match that didn't make any sense of taking place. They even said in the commentary that Sheeta has been the #1 contender for 11 weeks. 11 weeks. And did not have one title shot. However, in AEW fashion, she has to compete in this Fatal 4-Way, which could forfeit her opportunity at fighting Nyla Rose for the championship. And I just thought this was asinine. Just the whole premise behind the match. The match wasn't bad until the complete end, but because I have ranted enough, and I am not Stephen A. on this show, let me go to Marcus. And Marcus, how did you feel about this match in this situation?
First of all, I want to start this with a boot because I haven't had a chance to do this yet. There you go, Eric.
Oh, wow.
There you go. There you guys go. For a second, I normally trash the women's division in AEW, but this wasn't that bad of a match. It just had problems in it, I felt like. And I thought it was a really entertaining match, but it's to me, the finish and the Sheeta situation, it was just like, what are you guys doing? Well, the play devil's advocate in the NBA, if you have a season and you go, I don't know, what was the Warriors record? What's the all-time record, 72 or something? I don't care. You go through all that and you don't win the championship, that's on you. Sheeta was the favorite to win this match, and she should have won this match. However, my problem was with the end of Britt Baker losing her mind and going full psychopath and trying to kill Chris Statlander for reasons that never were explained or provoked. I feel like there was nothing that provoked that, and she cost herself the #1 contenders match. Although Sheeta should have been, even if she lost, she should still be the #1 contender.
I mean, in this situation, Manny, Marcus has pointed out something that, yeah, Dr. Britt Baker was just kind of, stop booping the camera, sir. Dr. Britt Baker kind of lost her mind. Manny, maybe watching it, did you notice any reason why Britt Baker forgo her chance of becoming #1 contender to just choke out Statlander?
Maybe she didn't like her teeth or something, or she saw something wrong in that jaw. and like a true medical professional, she had gloves on the ready to put that lockjaw in her mouth to inspect what was going on inside her mouth situation. Because she's an alien. She's a whole new entity. We don't know about their dental business.
Well played.
She is a scientist.
Science took over, and I understand that explanation. Science, the science of alien teeth. It's like when the aliens abduct us and do the anal probe. It's science. It's science.
Oh, okay. But the right person won. Sheeta solidified that she is the number one contender. I thought my favorite part is when they decided they were going to interview Sheeta in the back, and I guess they're taking a page out of WWE because Sheeta really doesn't. She knows a little English, but she was trying to get her point across. But one of my newfound favorites in AEW, and I can't believe I'm saying this, Nyla Rose walked in and was like, "I have something that you've been missing," and it's like. She was like,
I found your kendo stick, bitch.
yeah. And then she beats her ass, and I'm like, you know what? That's she. You know what? She went to villain you, clearly, because that's what you do in that situation. Because I didn't even realize that the kendo stick for Sheeta was missing. I didn't know someone stole it, but
I didn't even know she was looking for it.
Me neither.
Yeah.
It's not like Moxley, who's been looking for his title and he just can't seem to get it from number 10 and Brody Lee for whatever reason. But it was like, you know what? Of all the matches that are on Double or Nothing, this might be a match I might be intrigued with because I don't expect Nyla to lose this match. But you know what? Sheeta has been the number one contender for 11 weeks.
Here's my question, though, about the Sheeta Nyla Rose situation here. Do you think Sheeta is taking the belt from Nyla Rose at Double or Nothing? Or are we talking about this too soon? Because, it's not next week. But do you think she's taking the belt?
I don't. I don't see any reason why you would take the title off of Nyla Rose, except that maybe Sheeta is at work every day. I mean, I remember they told us a couple of months back that she sold whatever she lived at in Japan and moved to the United States so she can focus on her craft in AEW. So maybe, maybe they want to counter out Asuka being champion, because Sheeta is kind of like a low budget Asuka. She come out in a colorful robe and stuff of that nature.
Who's better on the mic? Who's better? Who would you prefer on the mic? Would you rather have Asuka screaming and running around? And I'm going to say Japanese version of shucking and jiving. Or would you rather have Sheeta's calm talk? Now, I'll toss it to Manny first.
That is a good question.
These fools. That's what the book did.
I still prefer Asuka. Like, she seems when she's in that full rant mode, she seems so evil. With the green paint going down her eyes and everything. She's so evil. But then
She might be a Rita.
Yeah. That is a good get. But yeah, I prefer Asuka because like she once Sheeta knows a bit more English, I think she'll be all right and she'll be able to deliver promos. It all takes time, and we've got to give her that time to adjust and learn English.
She seems so sweet and tender. She seems like a very nice young lady. Sheeta does. Were you finished, Manny?
You just spoke about her like a meat.
Yeah.
It's
tender.
From one piece
Juicy.
of meat to another
Just
piece
as
of
a
meat.
fat man.
Why not?
You're like, oh man, I bet you could just. You don't even really need the knife. It just tears up off the bone.
Just melts in your mouth, not in your hand.
Look at those thighs.
Yeah. Ooh.
I made fried chicken last night. I can't cut.
Baby girl, is that broccoli?
I can't cut a piece of chicken worth of shit because I had to butcher my chicken. But damn it, that chicken came out delicious in the fried. I should have put a picture. But no, Marcus, this is an unfair question, and I'm going to take a chance because Asuka's in my top 5 of favorite women wrestlers. So yeah, I'm going to pick her over Sheeta any day. I mean, I'm so happy when she became the official Grand Slam champion on Raw when she opened up that briefcase that Becky Lynch hit the code to, and she was find out that she had the title. But we'll talk about that later on. Marcus, are you on Team Sheeta or are you Team Asuka?
I'm on Team Asuka.
Okay.
There's an extent that I like the Asuka promos, but I feel like there's times when it's not the right time for her to go crazy. Like on Raw, she shouldn't have went crazy when she got the title. She just lost her damn mind. I feel like that was not the moment to lose your damn mind.
Speaking of moments that are missed opportunities, going back to AEW, we had a match where Kenny Omega teamed up with Matt Hardy and fought Santana and Ortiz. First, we still have no explanation where Adam Page is at. Like, they will not...
They said he's at home for COVID reasons.
Well, I need to have more reasons. They need to strip the titles. And also,
you can't be stripping titles like you Sami Zayn.
I'm stripping titles. And then what makes matters worse for me is that you have Omega teaming up with Hardy, and they lost last week to Jericho and Sammy Guevara. But then they go against Santana and Ortiz this week, and for me, it's getting frustrated with the Inner Circle. It's just like they don't win unless they have Jericho in their corner on their team. And I felt that this was like a wasted opportunity. I thought Santana and Ortiz should have won the match or at least got disqualified in the situation. Not a clean victory for Omega and Hardy. I just think that we're trying to build stars, but now we have Matt Hardy, I think, got more wins than Santana and Ortiz. And that frustrates me. Marcus, do you share my frustration, or you just think I'm circumcising mosquitoes?
You're not circumcising mosquitoes here. I agree to an extent, but there's part of me that's kind of souring on Pride and Powerful here. My issue with Pride and Powerful is that Ortiz is too comical of a wrestler. I feel like they're better when they're more of a threat, when they're trying to like kill people and stuff. But they're heels, and like he's overselling everything. The Tiger Claw, I'm okay with the scratch in the back. But when he gets hit, every bump he takes, he does a comedic oversell. And I feel like that's unnecessary. And I think they need to move away from that and take them more serious as a tag team. And I agree with you to the extent that they should be winning more matches. But I think they need to be separate from the Inner Circle. They don't. I feel like it doesn't fit with them because they're supposed to be thugs. They're supposed to be hoodlums. They're supposed to be a bunch of badasses from the street. But they're more of a comedy tag team. They're in the vein of the Street Profits more than they are of I got no other serious tag team these days. Damn it,
Viking Raiders.
Then the Legion of Doom.
No, they're even making the Viking Raiders a joke right now. So
yeah.
Go ahead, man.
Undisputed.
Well, they had that Zoom call today.
But it wasn't like they weren't trying to be total jokey. They were having a good time. It was just like, what if we got on Skype with our friends and we were having a good conversation? They're kind of serious, but I wouldn't even. The AOP is the last serious tag team.
I just think that it's not beneficial for anybody who's in the Inner Circle outside of Jericho, because if you don't team with Jericho, you lose. And so at the end of the day, like, these people are put in there to protect Jericho from losing. I mean, Sammy Guevara outside of Jericho doesn't win. Jack Swagger, what's his name? Jake Hager, he doesn't win. And then Pride and Powerful, who are going by Santana and Ortiz, they don't win either. And it's just, I feel like this is a new team that many people may not have seen because they didn't watch TNA. And now AEW is doing the typical WWE thing, and we're just going to bury them. Manny, is there a way that they can salvage the Pride and Powerful?
First, I want to pick up on your point of burying. I think we use that term too quickly.
I think
they're on a bad run at the moment. They're definitely, for sure, they're on a bad run. But I think, how much of it is it to blame with the situation we're in right now? Because that's definitely a factor. But there's nothing else in that tag division. Like, realistically, they're claiming to be the best tag division in the world. But like half of those a good majority of those tag teams are so-so. Like, the only good ones are the Lucha Brothers. I would go as far to go Kenny Omega and Adam Page when they're there. The Young Bucks. And then I don't know about the rest. Who else would you throw in there?
Well, we know the Revival will be there. So soon they will be the ones that will be in the top billing. And then I don't know what the Dark Order is anymore.
They're crap.
I mean, I'm going to AEW's website right now because the one way that you can tell who's their tag division, you just go look at their rankings. So these are the rankings. Can
I pause it?
Go ahead, Marcus.
Can I chime in and say there are in AEW they really need the Revival because they do need a serious tag team. And I'm not saying WWE has a bunch of serious tag teams either. They have a bunch of jokes too. But the only serious tag team I think in WWE and maybe in all of wrestling right now who takes it serious, and I hate that we forgot them earlier, but they are the Forgotten Sons.
Oh no,
they seem really passionate and angry about this tag team division.
But
everybody else in this tag team division,
how dare you,
are not taking it serious.
Imperium are serious about their wrestling.
Marcus, he got a point.
And the grizzled young veterans.
Exactly.
You're right.
But Marcus, right. I like you bringing up.
NXT UK is the only bunch taking tag team wrestling.
No, it's only those two. On NXT UK, it's only those two.
So you got.
I give British Strong Style of Trent Seven and Tyler Bate. They kind of take it a little serious. I mean, they're worried about their beards. Mustache Mountain, they're called. They take it serious, kind of. I mean, other than their mustache, but when they get in the ring, they all go. They're not joking too much. And then the Tournament of Ascension, they haven't turned Ascension. They haven't. Oh, that's what I was going with that. They haven't turned Pride and Power to the Ascension, so that's buried. When you become the Ascension, when no company wants you.
I just want to point out, Marcus Santana, and Ortiz are not even. They're not even ranked in the tag team rankings. You have the Dark Order, and that's the combination.
How are they ranked? They haven't won in years.
Marcus, according to the rankings on AEW, Uno and Grayson are undefeated. They're 5-0. I don't know when they fight.
Well, they number one.
They are number one according to their rankings.
I've never seen them win.
Marcus, wait. Number 2 on the rankings is the Best Friends. Number 3. So
Dark Best Friends should be number 1 just for the fact that they have been there on every single Dynamite.
Marcus,
they have not missed a Dynamite on the league.
Let me finish so you can have your rage at the most. So remember, Dark Order is 5-0, so they're number 1, right? The Best Friends are 6-3, so they're number 2. Coming in at a whopping number 3 is the Young Bucks, who are 500, 2-2, which is then followed by the Jurassic Express, who are 2-0. So they're undefeated, but they're below the teams that have losses. Now,
quantity of matches.
Then coming in
quantity or quality.
I'm talking about quantity of matches to put you in the number 1 ranking.
But then coming in at the fifth and final spot, the one black tag team in AEW, the Private Party, with a 3-1 record. My question is, they've had the same amount of. They have had 4 matches like the Young Bucks. They're 3-1. The Young Bucks are 2-2. Shouldn't the Young Bucks be ranked number 5 in this situation? Right, Marcus?
Yes.
Well, if you want to go that route with it, but you got to take one. You're missing a very important factor. The Young Bucks own the company, and they play the Private Party bills. Okay, aren't the Private Party fighting for a number 1 contenders match at Double or Nothing?
It's a ladder match for the number 1 contendership.
No, for the tag titles. The number 1 contenders match is like with the singles wrestlers. That's the ladder match. The casino ladder match, but the tag I think the Best Friends and the Private Party are fighting for the number 1 contender spot for their tag team titles, which makes no sense when you have rankings. We're the little sexy guys. I feel like they have never lost. Well, Jericho and Sammy Guevara has had more TV tag matches than all of these guys, and they never lose.
But they're not a tag team, I don't think, officially, Marcus.
They're called the Six Guys. That's an official tag team.
Okay. Going back into the Inner Circle. So after Jericho defeated Pineapple Pete, he then announced that he challenged.
Like it's a Christopher Nolan movie.
He challenged the Elite to a Stadium Stampede match. Marcus, they're gonna use the Jaguars arena for this match. Manny, do you think they will accomplish what WWE did with their pre-tape segments?
I don't think they will, and I think there'll be more people in that stadium at that point than there normally is for a Jaguars game.
Like, why stop football where you can play the Jaguars every week? And they'd be like, oh, like baseball, when the Marlins play, who needs a crowd? They never have a crowd.
Marcus also pointed out something. Marcus told me in our phone conversation we called this week, he says that I guess Tony Khan has went on the record saying that he's being bled dry because of the pandemic.
I didn't say bled dry.
But you know, he
that's not the quote. I'm bled dry. I'm down to my last dollar.
Being bled.
I don't know why.
But That sounds so much better when you're being bled dry. I like that. He's being bled dry. He's losing money left and right. And then me and Marcus just started talking like the amount of money that they're spending for unnecessary things on AEW makes absolutely no sense to me. First, Pineapple Pete got pyro. I know how much pyro costs. He doesn't need pyro. He's not that guy. But I think the biggest splurge of all splurging is at Double or Nothing, they have paid for Iron Mike Tyson to hand the TNT championship to the winner of the Cody Rhodes Murder Hawk match. What happened, Marcus?
He's ferocious.
I know he's ferocious.
The tiger. Like Tiger.
I mean, first of all, you would never say that to Mike Tyson to his face.
I wouldn't say shit to Mike Tyson, okay?
That video of him working out at 50. Damn.
Terrifying.
No,
fucking terrifying.
Manny, as I told Marcus, they can put him in any boxing match against anybody in the ring. I probably would pay for it to see a 53-year-old like, okay, he still got it. Because in that little brief second of, I was like, man, he can knock a motherfucker out. Just give him 2 rounds. He got to do it within 2 rounds.
Well, I heard Shannon Briggs said, pay me $25 million, I'll fight Tyson.
But doesn't Shannon Briggs have like
I'm
HIV?
not Shannon Briggs, though. Shannon Briggs is a third-rate heavyweight, in my opinion.
Let's go, champ.
Maybe you can dig up Lennox Lewis somewhere. So
Tyson Butterbean never happened.
So also
Butterbean's dead.
I'm all over the place, but
can I chime in for 2 things that you're all over the place about?
Go ahead then, Marcus.
One, I think their Stadium Stampede match is going to be a lot of fun and it's going to be a really solid match. When they advertise the Elite, though, I don't know who's actually going to be there. Cody's involved with the Murder Hawk. He's a part of the Elite. Adam Page is gone and living, I guess, at home. And the Young Bucks also. Are they going to travel for the show? Are they officially coming out of hiding or whatever it's called, or quarantine to come for the show? Because they didn't advertise any names, because it seems like it's only Kenny Omega that's been around and that's available for the Elite.
You never know what's gonna. It's probably gonna be. Well, no, because Cody can't be there. Marcus, I don't know. I personally don't think I even care. That's the worst part about it. It's like you should be doing.
It's gonna be solid though. It's gonna be a better version of the they had the previous week.
Yeah, but like to me it's like revisiting something that you've already done successfully. Like you've already did a backstage street fight brawl that I think got a lot of buzz, and it's not like I want you to repeat what you have already done. I need you to try to evolve and do something better, and that's one of the.
But we've already had empty arena matches. We haven't had an empty stadium match.
You've seen one empty arena match. You see one empty stadium match. They all the same. I mean, I just feel like in this Stadium Stampede match, they're just going to pull out a lot of the stuff that worked from their street fight and try to revisit it again instead of innovating. And I think that's the problem. Like, just because you're successful with one idea, you shouldn't keep repeating that idea because then that idea becomes stale.
I think you give them too little credit, creativity. Because I would give them I give AEW this. They have a lot of creative forces behind them. I think it's going to be more in the line of a final deletion. Because I believe Matt Hardy will be involved in a match in which they're going to shoot fireworks at each other and stuff. I feel like they're going to do some creative stuff. I trust Jericho and Matt Hardy coming up with some unique stuff.
Do you see where they're going with Matt Hardy? Because they keep referencing we don't know who he is, or I don't think Matt Hardy knows who he is every time he comes out.
He's going to be the next Liv Morgan.
Because he was playing 3 characters the week before, so does anyone know where this is going? Because I want to have an idea of where it's going.
I can only imagine this is what he wanted to do in WWE, but Vince was like, no. And as of right now, I'm very, I'm on the side of Vince because when he was crying over Vanguard 1 being destroyed by the new member of the Inner Circle, Floyd, I was just like, okay. I don't know if they realize how dangerous it is to hit a drone with a baseball bat, but I'm glad everything worked out very successfully in that situation.
I enjoyed him hitting the drone with a baseball bat because I thought that just looked that's something I've always wanted to do. I don't know why. I think I've seen it in movies when like people are shooting shit at you and they're coming at you, or in video games when you get to smash stuff with a baseball bat. That's just something I want to do personally. So I was okay with that. Matt Hardy coming out to crying for it, though. I was like, I don't need this part.
I think Matt Hardy's current character is basically Karen in her final form. Because he finds things wonderful and he wants to delete things. All Karens want to delete managers.
Yeah. Can I speak to your manager? And then when they speak to the manager and that manager don't help, can I speak to your manager? I'm just gonna
Speaking of Karens, do you think that if the crowd was around, someone can get a Karen chant at Bayley for her haircut? I think that would be that'd be an added to her character if you just start chanting Karen.
Well, Marcus,
Karen, she can react to that.
But see, the thing is that she's not a Karen.
She is a Karen.
She's got a Karen haircut, but
she got the Karen haircut.
Marcus, do you know what a Karen is?
And she complains a lot.
Yeah, but
she complains a lot.
She's not a Karen.
You can imagine Bayley if they had a manager on SmackDown. You can imagine her going to the general manager, complaining.
Okay, because she's Latina, is she Gloria?
Yeah, or Maria or something like that. She can't be a Karen. That's what I was trying to get at. Lacey can be a Karen.
I'm just saying she can do it.
I mean, it's just like Naomi would be Shaniqua. You know, like Shaniqua was asking for the manager again. Man, this is getting really bad. Speaking of bad, the main event was Brody Lee being taken to the limit by Christopher Daniels. Marcus, was it right? Did he really he took him to the limit, right?
This is the one time when you say someone took it to the limit, they were actually pushed to the limit. It was to the point where Brody Lee's guys had to say, "This isn't looking good for him. We need to get involved in this." Like, if he loses to Christopher Daniels, the fallen 50-year-old, he's going to lose all respect. And the fact that he wants to be introduced as the AEW champion and the guys win and go here with the belt. I was so frustrated with the booking of this match. I thought Brody should have been kept looking strong and he should have been dealt with Christopher Daniels right away. But they have to spin. They have to what's the word I'm looking for? They need the kill time for the rest of the show. But I feel like Christopher Daniels is the wrong wrestler. They should have went with Scorpio Sky, pushing him to the limit at least. They did the video package on Scorpio. They're building him up. They had him built up earlier when he fought Jericho, and he pushed Jericho to the limit. But yet he has not been in the ring ever since. And that should have been the wrestler and not old-ass Christopher Daniels. With that being said, Moxley running in and faking like he mad made me sick.
I think the Moxley whole thing was really ridiculous for the simple reason is that who cares? It was TV time, like you said. They had to get the match out. But they showed Moxley arriving to the arena earlier. He didn't find his belt.
I had a problem with this.
So he was already at the arena, and then next thing you know, he's walking through the same place where Cody knocked down the barricade. I guess that was stopping everybody from getting in. So I'm like, so you're trying to tell me he walked into the building, then walked back outside so he can walk back into the empty...
And have a cigarette. Have you ever smoked?
It just...
You never smoked a cigarette?
For me...
You gotta go back outside to smoke.
I'm just saying, like, if you really want to get your belt back, you should hang... He should have been at the door with Cody Rhodes waiting for Brody Lee to walk in as he was waiting for Jake and Murdoch.
It's been two people waiting, like, they gonna show up.
Smoking a cigarette, eating a bag of chips. Manny, you said you had issues with this segment. Can you go ahead and explain those issues?
So they go to the back, and there's this old guy just waiting to interview him. Moxley shoots him a look like, "Get the fuck out of my face."
I don't know who that guy was.
And then he shoves the cameraman, and then the cameraman managed to get back to the guy trying to get the interview. And then he hits with, "Whoa. We may need security back here." The threat has already gone. The threat has walked and long gone.
I just don't think they know how to handle the character of Jon Moxley because he's supposed to be a person that doesn't follow the rules. But how can I take you seriously when you're the people who you scammed the card from the inner circle, but now you can't figure out how to get your belt back? I mean, like, come on. And then next week...
The thing is, he's upset that his belt is taken away, but he doesn't attempt to ever get his belt back, and then gets on the microphone and says, "It's not about the belt. It's the principle of it all." Then just beat everybody's up. Why did you follow the rules and let Christopher Daniels finish this match? You could have just went in earlier and got it. And then when he dismantles those Dark Order guys, 10, 7, 8, 9, 14, 24, whatever their names are, he just goes in and dismantles them. Like, without pause. He could have did that earlier. And then Brody
you don't
just
know.
walks
You don't know
away.
what number 10 had to do to get that number, that name.
Well, first I found it hilarious that number 10's
Ty Dillinger first.
number 10's chest tattoo was getting rubbed off. He got too roughed up, so he became like number 5 in smudge. He was like 5 smudge. But with that being said, next week on a future episode of Dynamite, we were having number 10 face Jon Moxley. I don't need this match. I just need Jon Moxley to retain his title or to get his title back. I'm not. Like you said, Marcus, AEW for me was all over the place, and continuity was not a theme throughout the show, but it happened. Marcus, do you have any closing comments on the AEW segment?
I just feel like my problem with AEW, just in general, is logic. I feel like the show just lapsed in logic of like, I don't feel like people, I don't know what way they want me to take their show. Do they want me to take it serious? Do they want me to treat it wrestling as a joke? I don't know how they want me to take this show or how I'm supposed to feel at it. Like, there's just so many logic gaps. At some moments you have Cody and the Murder Hawk and Jake raping his wife as a serious situation. And then you have Jericho hitting Vanguard 1 and trying to recruit him with a baseball bat. And then, like, it's just, like, tonally wise, it doesn't all gel. And that they said they want to make this more like a sporting event, but I feel like it's very... Okay, COVID. I feel like it's very, yeah. I feel like it's more WWE than an actual sporting event, and that's what frustrates me more. Is that I want an alternative program, and this feels more of the same. And I don't know. It's just there's logic gaps. I just feel like I just can't stand. Because I still, even though I like the Ray Phoenix dropkick, I do not know why he did that. He has no reason.
But I think that when you come to the AEW and to the AEW fan base, I don't think AEW fan base deserve they want logic. They don't have to have it just because they're rabid. Like, they will criticize WWE for their lack of logic, but they'll let everything in AEW slide. So I don't know if their fan base will have that same request that you have, Marcus. Manny, am I right in that situation, or you think it could be a balance?
No, I definitely think you're right where you're going, and I specifically remember hearing about an interview that Tony Khan gave about the way they're booking AEW, and it's like they're booking. They went back and said Tony Khan's watching old WCW footage and then seeing where they went wrong and then trying to book it that way, which doesn't make sense because in the end WCW ended up being nothing. It ended up being owned by WWE.
Well, I feel like he's missing the one thing WCW did wrong and what TNA did wrong, and that is not being financially responsible. We're in a pandemic. No one has money. You're not making money. Don't be shooting pyro for everybody.
Apparently, AEW took a profit because they were running shows at cheap because they're doing it in one location and then doing multiple tapings a day. So I'm
thinking of profit.
Well, you have to understand, Marcus, in the streamline of taping all the shows, and they're still a hot commodity, so you still have a lot of sponsors that are going to AEW, like, oh, let me get some TV time here, and things like that. Like, the ratings numbers are not, like, great by wrestling standards, but at the same time, I think getting 600,000 viewers on a Wednesday night for a TNT programming is something that...
But there's nothing else on.
It's not a massive profit, but it's a small profit. Because you got to look at they're still taking revenue in by T-shirts, and people love them some wrestling T-shirts, and I think and the fact that they're saving money, they're obviously going to make a small profit in what they're doing. But I don't see that being financially viable for a long time.
Yeah, I don't know how the money works, so I could be wrong on this, but I just feel like they're spending a lot of money on like Tyson. Banking on this, I feel like they're banking on this pay-per-view, and they're charging $50 or $60. I forget how much. All the wrestlers that they have in attendance, they're paying them all, I guess, for each show. I don't know. I know it's Tony Khan Stadium and everything, but I don't know how much that costs or to keep the lights on for that place. I just feel like could end up being an issue down the road. But, you got to invest money to make money, I'm assuming. But I don't know. I just want them to, and they're talking about signing all these wrestlers. Like, They signed. They allegedly signed the Revival.
AEW has not talked about signing anybody
in.
except for the Revival because they've been the packages for the Elite. I think that's fans speculating that AEW is going to sign all these people. I'm not as confident as all these people who got unemployed will be running to the gateways of AEW. I just don't think that it will be a very successful thing for them to do because then once again, they're going down the same route that WCW went down. They're going down the same route that TNA went down. And I think it's AEW's job to be successful by, being different and being new to fulfill what they said that they were going to fulfill by being a better quality show or being different from WWE. With that being said, we're going on to a new show. This probably will be a couple of brief because NXT took place and NXT had a very interesting turn of events for NXT wise. I felt NXT was a show about nothing. I felt nothing was accomplished. I felt that
I felt stuff was accomplished, but not really. I think it moved the story along.
I think that the logic issue that you had with AEW, Marcus, I also had with NXT. I mean, it started off with Imperium going against Thatcher and Matt Riddle, but the only reason why Imperium became the new tag team champions was because Thatcher and Riddle couldn't get along, and the blow up on paper of the match didn't make any sense. But when Marcus broke it down to me, or why Thatcher was so upset with Riddle, it made so much sense. So I'm going to turn it to Marcus to explain why Timothy Thatcher had enough of Matt Riddle's bullshit.
Well, it's the equivalent of having a bad roommate. He was doing a friend a favor. Pete Dunne called him up and was like, hey, I need you to team with Matt Riddle. And Eric, and I believe Manny too, has expressed, like, I don't know if I'll be able to hang out with somebody like Matt Riddle. Like, he's just so oblivious, and I would go on the record and say he comes off as an idiot and like a bad roommate. Like, he'd just do shit that just frustrates you. Like, Chris sends in these emails about his bad roommate and all that. I feel like Matt Riddle would compete with being a bad roommate. And so Timothy Thatcher, who is a man with no nonsense, he's very serious. He's all about his wrestling and, really causing pain to people. He looks like a very serious man. And to be dealing with this guy for 3 weeks and just talking to him and not really being a tag team champion, just being a placeholder. And it's just, and you see that Riddle always held the belts when they would do their interviews. I would just snap. And this was the one moment when it was a bunch of built-in frustration. And he expressed it in the back when he was talking to Chuck. I know it wasn't Chuck, but he was talking to Chuck in the back. And he was saying that, could you imagine this dude want to do game shows and all this? I want to just wrestle. He's setting up segments and stuff. I want to fight. I want to wrestle. I had enough of his bullshit. And that's where it came down to. And I understood that frustration. And to me, this made the most sense of anything in wrestling this week. Of someone just being, I'm tired of Matt Riddle. I don't want to fuck with this dude. I'm going to kick his ass. And so when he hit him with that TV monitor, I was all for it. And Matt Riddle's obliviousness of yelling, Tim, what you doing? What you mean, what am I doing? I jumped off the apron.
Manny, Marcus made very, very excellent points right there. Do you agree with Marcus, or do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, so I wrote in my notes, I can relate to Thatcher turning on Riddle.
Clearly, nobody likes Matt Riddle.
Like, picture this: you're at work, and you're doing your job, and there's just one person in your team that just, for some reason, always annoys you. They're just they have these quirks, and they annoy you. And then, but you have to play nice because you're at work.
Mm-hmm.
But there comes a time they'll do something where it takes you over the edge. Like, I don't know, they spend 5 minutes longer on a break when they're supposed to, causing your break to be delayed by 5 minutes. Or they've talked about their kids a bit too much this week. You telling me you don't want to pick up a monitor and smash them in the head with it? Just me? No, I don't think so.
I actually have a story about that.
It wasn't that incident. It wasn't exactly the incident that caused it. It was just the tipping point. It was just the whole. It wasn't it was probably the smallest thing that could have happened. Like he's probably annoyed by some other stuff, but this was the tipping point of like, motherfucker, I had enough. I gotta go ahead. Go ahead, Eric. What's your story?
No, you guys don't need to hear that story, but it's.
Oh, come on, you teased it.
Well, so someone I worked with, they were always constantly talking about their kid and how they were trying to get their kid through this and they couldn't get it right. And it was just one of those days where you just having a bad day at work, so you decide that you want to vent to one of your coworkers like, I can't believe this person keeps talking this about me. Well, my frustration led to a vital mistake. I ended up texting that frustration message to the person who I was frustrated with.
Mm.
Yeah.
By accident or?
It was by accident, man. It was by accident.
See, the rage, you just couldn't do it.
And it's nothing worse than when the person he was talking about came out and was like, were you talking about me? I'm like, oh, shit. Yeah.
How did you settle it? Cage match?
No, it did not. But, yeah.
Loser leaves town match. Or hair versus hair. Clearly, Eric didn't win.
The thing that I enjoyed about the frustration between Riddle and Thatcher was that if they didn't have this dispute, we would never had a main event for NXT. And that's where I always have issues. Like, there was no main event that Regal had to call in to say, hey, we're going to have this main event. And it was probably one of the most technical matches this week. It was two very technical matches this week. You had Thatcher and Riddle, and you had Gulak and Daniel Bryan. I felt that Riddle winning this match made sense, but I just don't like Matt Riddle. And I told Marcus on the phone, I can't stand Matt Riddle. He annoys me, but I respect him as a performer, and I understand what he brings to the table. But it's just like, I was rooting for Tim Thatcher because I think we all agree with the frustration that he was feeling with Matt Riddle.
But at the end, he kind of went too far. I wanted him to break his arm at the end. After he lost, I wanted him to break Matt Riddle's arm. By the way, I thought it was a phenomenal match. And I'm going to say it was better than Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak just a bit because the Riddle and Thatcher match, I didn't know who was going to win. And Bryan and Gulak, I knew who was going to win. And I just thought this match was physical. It was the closest thing to a MMA fight you could probably get in a WWE match. It was just two people hitting each other and them going through realistic grappling holds. And to me, I thought it was a really good match. And I thought their storyline on NXT was pretty much the ice cream and a sundae. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I have no analogy. But what I'm trying to say, it was the main. It was carrying it. I don't know. Okay, I'm speaking off the top of my head. I don't have notes like you guys. I just go off what I'm thinking and feeling. What I was trying to say is that this carried the NXT show. Them breaking up, the interview, him hitting Riddle with the monitor later, and Regal on the iPad telling them you guys go have the match, and then them having the match. I welcome this feud, and I can see them continuing this feud down the line until Pete Dunne comes back, or whenever we allowed to travel and they reopen up the countries again. Pete Dunne and Thatcher to avenge all the stuff he's did to Matt Riddle. But he should have broke the arm in the end. He should have broke it. And we would have been introduced to Timothy Thatcher as maybe the most dangerous man in wrestling because he gives zero fucks. Zero miedo. I'm done. I'm sweating now.
I did love the pull apart between Riddle and Thatcher at the back. Gave you a nice backstage sighting of screaming, big wiggle Norman Smiley.
Who hasn't been seen on TV in a long, long time. I guess I don't want to overshadow this, but Imperium has gold, so technically
no one remembers that.
Imperium are the new NXT Tag Champions, so in so many ways, although they're apart, they're like the undisputed era of the UK. You have Walter as being the champion of the WWE UK, and now I can't remember their names, but Bartel
and Archer, Fabian Archer.
Yeah, whatever. Eichner. They're the champions, and you know what? I think this was a good move moving forward because, like you said, we don't know when Pete Dunne is going to be back in WWE. We just don't know.
Done.
The WWE initiated
It is done, huh?
the Superstar Invitation. Yeah, I know. The Superstar Invitational. Can you see any of the tag teams from Raw or SmackDown, whatever tag teams they have left, now that the Usos died, venturing to NXT to challenge them? Because currently NXT has no tag teams other than the Undisputed Era.
Well, with all this commingling going on, I think anything could be happen because I mean we had Charlotte appear on SmackDown for no reason, but
Invitational.
it was a good reason. So who knows? I can't speculate. I really can't. Um, I also thought NXT was the show of packages. Everyone had a package. We had the Karrion Cross package, which I thought was a very good package. Manny, did you enjoy that package?
I enjoyed that package, and then it was followed by the Dakota Kai package, which was also a very good one because it
Yes,
established Raquel Gonzalez as well.
as a badass.
Yeah.
On that motorcycle, showed up just in time to say her lines.
She
For that.
but my favorite thing was that it was like Dakota Kai sitting on the ground of a bridge in white shorts, waiting for her ride to come pick her up. Like,
And Jordan 11s. And Jordan 11s.
I
Let's not
mean,
forget that.
well, you're a Jordan guy, Manny, so I don't know. I've never owned a real pair of Jordans, so I don't know the fascination.
She looked like the richest homeless person I ever met. Sitting on that bridge. Like it was like, oh, she's well off. Okay, she doesn't really need the money. She's just sitting there, and I respect that.
You know, the Karrion Cross thing was great, but the sad part about it, what kept me hooked to NXT, and although this was like a substandard show for them, was the fact that they told me we were going back to dinner with the Garganos, and I know maybe it's because we do the show and we talked about Candice LeRae making chicken LeRae and that dry ass chicken. That I was excited for that segment, and then I was disappointed because they had already eaten their meal, so I didn't know what they ate.
No, that wasn't the meal.
And so next thing you know, it just led to them having disputes with they became super evil because they went to villain school and they know how to modulate their voice. Marcus, how did you feel about that?
Every good supervillain knows how to feed their enemies. I'm just saying that in every superhero movie, when they keep, like in Austin Powers, when Dr. Evil had Austin Powers and I forget her name, damn, Elizabeth Hurley, and he fed them dinner, and Seth Green walked in, what are you feeding them for? I feel like Gargano and Candice would feed their villains. And that food they had was chicken noodle soup. It was Campbell's soup. I've seen Ryan eat that enough times to know that is Campbell's chicken noodle soup.
On a flat plate and not a bowl.
Yeah, it wasn't a bowl.
Just try it. It was one of those deep bowls though.
No, it wasn't.
I know what that was. So after DX mentioned that In Your House was coming back, and then they were talking about the Godwins, and that was slop from the slop bucket.
The real question is, I want to pose it to you, Eric. I'm sorry I steal your hosting duties one more time, but the question is, would you eat it? And my question, we can do this every week, guys. Would you eat it? And the question is, would you have eaten that meal? And I'll start with you, Eric. Would you have eaten Candice LeRae cooking this week?
If I'm a guest at the house, I can't be disrespectful. I have to eat it, or I could always try to pull that line. Well, I ate before I came here, but you knew this was a dinner party, so I have to try to eat it. Will I like it? No, but you can't be disrespectful. Manny, are you gonna eat it?
First, I can't tell if I would wait and then let them eat and then see if they get poisoned. Couldn't do that. I'd maybe try and swap my plate first and then watch them eat and see if she does. But I think Eric's right. You've been invited there. Unless you're gonna get beaten up before you eat, you gotta eat that.
I would lie and say I had diarrhea fasciitis and not eat it.
But so Marcus, you think it was chicken?
And I'll have some hot sauce and some pepper. I know it wasn't.
You thought it was chicken noodle soup, but I really think it was macaroni and cheese. That's what I think it was. It had that yellow goo, and I know certain people just eat macaroni and cheese as the main meal, not a side. So I think that was macaroni and cheese in that situation.
Overall, what did you think of their promo? Actually, I enjoyed it. Although when they flashing like that, I kind of was getting dizzy. Well, I was kind of getting sick. I enjoyed what they were saying, and I think the feud with Mia Yim and Keith Lee makes sense to me.
But my biggest concern about their promo is that I kind of felt that it somewhat overlaps with the Karrion Cross promo. Like we have two evil entities, and
Different type of evil though.
but I think Cross is there to cleanse NXT, but then I think also the Garganos are also there to cleanse NXT. So I think that they're too similar, but I mean that's very small stuff right there for me personally.
Well, I feel like Cross is just pure evil. He comes off as the devil. Gargano and Candice seems like entitled white people.
Wow.
Wow.
No offense.
Oh, wow, that's pretty offensive, Marcus. I just think that.
I mean entitled people. Sorry.
So,
Not to be racist.
Speaking of entitled people, Marcus, we're going to touch on the Cruiserweight Challenge a little bit because that also took place. Yo boy, Swerve Scott, decided to fuck up and talk a lot of shit. And he talked about how he did not want to end up being one of those people who never won a match in the tournament, which motivated two individuals. First, it motivated his opponent, Gentleman Jack, and it also motivated Tony Nese, who was the only person in the tournament not to win a match because he lost to Atlas early in the night, which caused him to become involved in Swerve match, causing him to lose, and I think effectively almost eliminated him out of contention. Marcus, did Swerve make the right call by talking shit?
Well, that's a loaded question if I've ever heard one. I refuse to answer that.
I'll answer it.
I refuse to answer that.
I'll answer that question.
Go ahead, Manny.
So last week, I would have thought Swerve would have learned something from Cameron Itchy Grimes. That if you chat shit, you're going to get banged. Chat shit, get banged. Cameron Grimes got banged up by Finn Balor last week. And then Swerve chat shit this week and then got beat up by Tony Nese before and then losing his opportunity at the Cruiserweight title.
And I don't think anybody wants a feud between Swerve and Tony Nese. It doesn't help anybody at all. Not at all.
At least it'll be 205 where no one will see it.
So the chime in on this loaded question, if Swerve should have did. No, he should not have talked shit. He should not have said, if I didn't win a match in this tournament, I would have simply retired. He didn't need to do all that. You don't go that far. But my problem isn't him talking shit. It's the fact that Tony Nese had to get his revenge, which was well respected. I appreciate Mr. Person was done counting his abs and decided to go out there and do something about this black man talking really a lot of shit.
Marcus pointed out that on 205 Live that he watched, Corey Graves was calling commentary. He's like, this man is still counting his abs. He ain't won a match. How can he count his abs at this point?
You need to stop and realize the abs don't count. It don't matter. He can have 20 abs. It don't matter. You ain't won. So my problem with Swerve Scott not recovering from being pushed into the stairs. I don't know how many times I've seen wrestlers get thrown into the stairs just in the middle of their match. And this was like maybe a love tap into the stairs. Tony Nese did no damage. For him to lose this match to Jack Gallagher because of that, because he got the drop on him, I do not feel like that was enough for him to justify to say, I would have won that match if it wasn't for Tony Nese getting involved. No, you still had a chance. I've seen people come back from worse and win matches. So Swerve was eliminated from the tournament, and Jack Gallagher and Tony Nese, the bottom of the barrel, are having this feud. And then on 205 Live, Jack Gallagher fought Tony Nese because he was upset about him getting involved in his match.
What?
Yeah. So I would say that Swerve talking shit was a great example of talking shit going wrong. However, Cameron Grimes is a great example of talking shit going well. Because last week he talked a lot of shit about Finn Balor, which ended up getting him a match this week against Finn Balor. And yes, he won by circumstances out of his control. He still got a win over Finn Balor. And I think at that point, talking shit was really worth. But speaking of talking shit, though, Damian Priest might be the most maniacal and insane villain in the game because he clearly exposed that he attacked Finn Balor. And he attacked Finn Balor, but he also had that title match that same night against Keith Lee. Clearly, he wasn't focused on the task at hand. Marcus, Damian Priest needs to go get some counseling so he can figure out what he want to do. His hand isn't too much, right?
I don't understand what his motivation of attacking Finn Balor was that night for. It seemed like he should have been focused on fighting Keith Lee for that title. Then to be like, well, if I take out Finn Balor tonight, because I guess he's playing chess. if I take out Finn Balor tonight, he can't come at me for this belt after I beat Keith Lee. He was really counting the chickens before they hatch. He was counting them, and I don't understand his attacking. And the problem with this pandemic is that it cost us the match we won, and it was Walter and Finn. And Finn is now dangling in thin air because the direction they wanted to go was with Walter, and they want to keep him away from the title for some reason. And, just not there yet. It's just all frustrating. It's all frustrating. The pandemic caused that attack, basically.
Manny, are you in agreement with Marcus that Cameron Grimes only won because of the pandemic and Damian Priest being too distracted by everything else, trying to think too far?
Well, I feel like Damian Priest has looked at the former Candice LeRae kind of action of like, let's get my hand stuck in everyone's business, and taken that model and continued it on his way. But yeah, I don't think Cameron Grimes would have got this win otherwise. Like,
well, we all know who. I was only happy about this win, but whatever.
Does this win help Cameron Grimes, your boy? This is your Swerve Scott, as I brought it up to you. I have Swerve, you have Cameron Grimes. Does this help your boy?
I think so. I mean, I think Cameron got more personality than Swerve, and then Cameron also has not been forced to be on 205 Live a lot. I just think that you just have to give him a proper feud, and I think if the audience was there, they would be invested in him to either boo or hate him. Because Marcus, you despise the man personally, but I
don't despise Itchy. I don't despise him. I just don't see anything there.
Well, I don't see anything.
He's a little man in his wee little boots, and he's jumping on people.
And that's
okay. He remind me of Pussy Boots.
He
remind me of Pussy Boots. No, Swerve has more moves and more athletic ability. Yeah, he does.
I know I'm going to lose this battle, but since
That's
Manny's
it.
here,
That's
Manny, Cameron Grimes, or Swerve Scott?
Oh, there's more upside with Grimes.
Ha!
Oh, man, you falling for the hat. And without that hat, he's nothing. He's nothing without the hat.
Yeah, but I'm waiting for someone to step on the hat. That's what I'm waiting for.
You should have stole the hat. I think he did step on it at one point, didn't he?
I don't know.
Or did he just steal it?
So
I don't know.
To conclude NXT, I have a very special segment for Manny because there was one match that we alluded to earlier, but it was the match of the night where
the Geico match of the night.
Yeah, it was the Geico match of the night, but it was Miss Kaden Carter, the person who never gets a win, going against Aaliyah, who we found out on last week's episode is probably one of Manny's most hated women performers in WWE. And the question I have for Manny, and
I don't hate her. I just don't feel she should have a job.
Well, to me that's hate, Manny. And I'm going to switch the camera.
Money off her table.
So, Manny, I'm going to ask this question to you. After Kaden Carter defeated Aaliyah, and Rob Stone was down there watching this match, and she went to plead to Robert Stone to, hey, give me another chance, and he put the hand down.
Not now.
Did you enjoy that? Someone was firing her before.
Of course I enjoyed that. I may have watched that 3 times.
He literally did the Hot Like Bling song with Drake meme, in which he was like, nah, I don't want that.
Eric, I've got something for you that's only on the video.
Okay. Oh, wait, let me switch it over.
Oh.
Guess what, man?
Oh.
The green screen stops the fan from showing, so I don't see the fan that you're showing me. Thank God for the green screen. Yes.
Your screen is blocking the fan.
Oh damn. He done put the, you son of a bitch, you.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, look at those skills, Zai Lee.
I think we should, for the show, I think we should start taking bets on wrestlers. And I mean that who's going to have the most success. Like, we will attract their wins and losses. The only wrestlers we attract Xia Li, Aaliyah, Kaylin Carter, Swerve Scott, and Cameron Grimes wins and losses.
Amen.
And the rest, and the host that has the most wins.
Many.
Or the best win-loss percentage What are you gonna say? Go ahead.
Talking, Manny? Did you notice who he omitted from his list of people? I didn't hear Tamina's name mentioned not once.
He didn't put Tamina in that list.
She be in the list.
You know what? You put all the people that me and Manny have put our allegiance behind, and like all the trash people that we've picked. But you did not want to acknowledge that you have put support behind Tamina, you and Wes on Tamina Mania.
And Tamina Mania was a thing, but it's over now because Tamina's going away again, and you know she's gone. There's no way I can come back. I know this. Tamina's not going to wrestle for another 7-8 months until they do a match.
Tamina still has to be in the ring. Rumble. Tamina doesn't have the Cody Rhodes out clause of not being able to challenge for a title. She must still remain in this competition.
She has a Brock Lesnar schedule. She has a Brock Lesnar schedule. Okay? She has a Brock Lesnar schedule, and therefore she should not be involved in this. I'll take another wrestler on the list for my percentage points, but Tamina can't be on there.
No, you cannot renege because we've all put our faith behind people that we should not put our faith behind, and now you're trying to get out of it when we try to keep track of stuff.
Well, you know what? To quote a wise Japanese lady that is kind of related to me, fuck it. Let's do it.
I just want
to put Tamina in there. Fuck it.
Because Xia Li has a win, and Caden Carter has a win, and Aaliyah's losing.
We're starting now. Caden Carter, Swerve Scott, Cameron Grimes, Xia Li.
So wait. So I've got Caden Carter. I've got Caden Carter and Cameron Grimes. Eric's got Xia Li and Cameron Grimes, and then you've got Tamina and Swerve Scott.
So we need to put our allegiance. We need to put our allegiances somewhere else. Then I'll take Swerve Scott and Aaliyah.
What?
Swerve Scott and Aaliyah will be my two wrestlers. Okay, that I'm investing in. That I will invest in. Swerve Scott and Aaliyah will have more wins and losses this year.
Gentlemen, I don't think this is a decision
on real TV shows. No. They can't count 205 Live.
Gentlemen,
or main event.
I don't think this is something that we need to invest in right away. We need some time to think about who we're gonna invest our money and our stock in. So
no. You have no time. You have no time.
We'll do that.
You've already invested in Xia Li and Cameron Grimes. Your Cameron Grimes is Xia Li. He's Caden Carter, and he needs another one.
I said, Kate, because you made the decision of Cameron Grimes or Swerve Scott. I took Grimes, so I'm with Eric on Grimes.
But I think we have to have our own people that we're investing.
You gotta have two people. You gotta have two separate ones.
Oh, so I need a separate male wrestler.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, Manny can now
you can go female. You can go Shotzi if you want.
But why he has to go with all the Filipino wrestlers? I'm
not saying anything. He showed support for Shotzi Blackheart.
I mean,
I'll tell you what. I let the Sharpie Nation decide my other man.
Oh shit! Now he's like Spencer Dinwiddie.
You can go AEW.
He's gonna sign with the NBA.
No. We've kept this in the NXT universe, so we have to keep it in the NXT universe.
No, if I have. Wait. I canceled out Tamina, and put Aaliyah.
That's why I said.
Yeah, well, I'm comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with that way because Tamina's not gonna be on TV.
No, I feel like we should come back next week, and for each show, we should pick two wrestlers, a male and a female, that we put our support behind, and then we track the win-loss records, and then after that,
is it only WWE NXT or is it all wrestling?
It's all wrestling because they're all supposed to be separate entities. So you have two champions for AEW, two for NXT. 2 for SmackDown, which would be very hard to find, and then 2 for Raw. And then you go from there.
Whoa.
Your default Tamina already. Yeah. So
wait a minute. So it's gonna be for every show we gotta have 2 wrestlers?
That we can track. I mean, it's not like we're gonna really keep track with it. Hell, we'll probably forget about this whole segment next week. But it's just for right now.
No, I will keep score. Okay. No doubt. I will keep score. But I'm saying that I think it should just be 2. It shouldn't be for all the brands because I would lose track then. But if I just have to look at Aaliyah and Swerve Scott's win-loss record, I'll be okay.
Well, I'm not comfortable putting my support behind Xia Li and putting Grimes this year.
Why not? I took Aaliyah.
Well, see,
I took Aaliyah.
Marcus, you're gonna win by default because Aaliyah's not gonna be on TV. Like
no, but.
No, but if we start from today, he's on 0-1. He's 0-1 already.
Yeah.
No, he's 0-2. You're 0-2 already.
0-0.
You're 0-2 already.
I'm technically 1-0 because Xia Li didn't fight this
week.
week.
You got Tony Nese. I just picked Tony Nese for you, all right? That's it.
Tony Nese. And Manny can't have Tony Nese. Needless to say, we need to move on to another show that had absolutely nothing going on, and no narrative, and that's SmackDown. The only thing that it confirmed was that Tucker Knight no longer is employed by WWE because it started off with Miz TV and John Morrison and Miz making fun of the weight of Otis, then eventually challenging him to a tag team match, and they said, "Where's Tucker Knight?" And clearly, Otis didn't have a clear answer where Tucker Knight is at. So, Manny, are you sad to see good old Tucker Knight gone?
I will remember you. Tucker Knight's dead. 3 careers.
Dead? I'm going with the Sarah McLachlan. We are all God's children. And you know, some of the old beat up dogs and cats, and then you see Tucker Knight going like this. It's over. He's been Chris Harris. He's been Braden Walker.
Harris. Haven't heard that name in a while.
He's been Braden Walker.
So two people got thrown off a roof on Sunday, but one man lost his career, and that was All Night Tucker Knight.
All Night Tucker Knight. He at home like they gonna call me in one day.
There is nothing better than a tag team wrestler looking for a tag team partner the entire night of a wrestling show. Like, you have a partner, and don't give me that bullshit. He out sick. This is the perfect main event for your partner to be there.
Well,
but you know.
But you know what the thing about this was? The thing about this was when Mandy told him to go look for, why didn't you just ask Braun? I completely forgot Braun was the Universal Champion for like 5 minutes. I was like, why would he ask Braun? I was like, oh, he's a champion.
Well, and that made sense to me. But what I wanted Mandy to say is that, you know, you do need a tag team partner. Why don't you go ask Dolph Ziggler? I just thought that would have been even more interesting in the dynamic. The guy who we can only assume that she was screwing before she found out the truth. Between,
if she said that he has to go full Soldier Boy, Dolph?
Yeah.
You mean the nigga that won the title but never won it again? You mean the nigga that's still in love with you?
Marcus, the N-word, huh? Just really.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I didn't realize I was even saying it.
Wow, you were very passionate about Mandy X's in that situation.
Well, I was doing Soldier Boy. That was the problem.
Well, I mean,
but I want. Do you want Mandy to lure Otis to the dark side for that title? Because I think her wanting him to get that title would drive them both to the dark side and end their relationship. It's like, this is your moment. Take the title. Hit him with the chair.
Marcus, I've come to find out that Mandy is the one that's manipulating Otis in this situation. That she's convincing him to chase bigger dreams because it was her idea to recruit Braun Strowman. And then when we get through the main event, they beat Miz and Morrison. And then guess who comes down to the ring in those little shorts and the high boots?
Come on, these booty shorts.
And guess what? Was distracting Braun Strowman. Was distracting the man. And then next thing you know, Otis looked like he was going to try to cash it in. Because Mandy's a businesswoman. She knows if he gets that gold around his waist, which won't fit around his waist, she gets more money from the pay window. Marcus, I'm right.
I know, you're right. You're 100% right. I talked to the accountant of SmackDown that if you do have the belt and you win, you get more money. But the thing is about Mandy Rose. I think if Eric, this is my question. You're a married man.
I am.
You're currently in a relationship. If a man looked at Mandy the way Braun, if that was your wife walking down and Braun was looking at her like that, do you just kick his ass anyway? Because he looked like he had he looked like he was Mr. Steal Your Girl.
Well, the problem is that did Braun have something that I was trying to take? Because I'm telling you, this was a perfectly laid plan out by Mandy and Otis to try to get the title off of him. So they were in cahoots with this situation. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. Marcus, that's what they teach you in the first 2 weeks of Villain University. Use distractible items to get what you need in life. I'm just saying. That's I wish I
feel like it's feeling you. That whole course, like, what are your distractible items? This man has a blonde and booty shorts.
Yes.
That is his item, guys. You need to learn. You need to become a professor at Billy U, Eric.
It almost worked in that situation, except that, unfortunately, for whatever reason, I think because Mandy needed to have a low-cut top also, just so she could really intoxicate Braun in this situation. The shorts was not enough because Braun, for the record, probably really not a big booty man. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, hey, what's going on? And so that's when Otis weighs too much weight.
Yeah.
So when
Braun has a woman. He's eyeing Alexa Bliss. Remember, they're almost a thing.
I just think we were.
And yeah, they did do some backstage thing a couple of weeks ago as well, didn't they?
Team Little Big, because she's trying to get the paycheck too, man. Just letting you know.
She's got a belt already.
More money, more problems, and she's trying to get those problems.
Speaking to the payroll of WWE, the women's tag team titles are not that valuable at all. It turns out it's that you don't make that much more money. You make enough, but it's like, it's very middle of the road. You're like, oh, this is it. I'm a tag champion. You're a women's tag team champion.
So
Sorry.
SmackDown also did something else. They announced that the stripping of Sami Zayn of the Intercontinental title. He's the first belt he ever won in WWE. Now he's being stripped because he's taking a safe approach and staying at home and not coming to work. So, of course, WWE announces a tournament. The biggest surprise of the tournament is that you have AJ Styles jumping from the Raw brand to the SmackDown brand, trying to claim the final title in his quest to become a Grand Slam champion of the
You are misinterpreting that. He's using the Invitational. You get 4 jumps, okay? He's using all 4 of his jumps to try to win this tournament.
Yeah, but Michael Cole said the IC title is the one title that's eluded him. Yes. But he hasn't won the Universal title. He hasn't won any of the tag titles. How is the IC title?
He's been a tag team champion. He's been a tag team champion.
With who?
Jericho. Y2 AJ was a tag team champion for one night.
No, they weren't. They were a tag team for one night.
No, I think they got the title for one night.
Don't make me fact check you.
I'm fact checking right now.
I'm okay. I'm comfortable with being wrong. I'm just saying.
See, I'm going to ProWrestlingFandom.com. This is a lot of words to read, man. Like, don't they just have like a list of what he won?
I'll just go to his wiki.
That's where I'm at, Marcus.
Oh.
Just keep continuing.
Why do I hear myself?
So he's a 2-time WWE champion and a 3-time United States champion.
Fantastic. That's it.
Well, I don't even care anymore. But the first 2 matches took place.
He's a TNA tag team champion. That's all that really matters.
Elias defeated Baron Corbin, and then Daniel Bryan defeated Drew Gulak. Next week, we get Jeff Hardy going against Sheamus.
Hardy. Next
week's SmackDown is pretty stacked when it comes to television shows. So, I'm intrigued by that.
So, we're not going to talk about Daniel Bryan, Drew Gulak?
We did already.
Yeah, it was a solid match.
Yeah. We talked about it when we talked about Ritter.
You're right.
Do you have something else that you want to add that you didn't add before?
The Bayley, Sasha, Charlotte dynamic?
I'm not talking about that. I was talking about what the... God damn it, Marcus. You brought up Gulak and Daniel Bryan. You said we're not going to talk about that. And I asked
I thought we were done with SmackDown. That's what I thought. No. I thought you were done.
I will not... Marcus, I will not stop talking about SmackDown before we talked about the probably for me, the best segment of SmackDown was when Charlotte came out to the ring and she was in the ring with Bayley and Sasha Banks. First of all, Sasha Banks' outfit was ridiculous for no good reason. I don't know where you could wear that to. How do you go to the bathroom in that? Huh?
What's she dressed up for?
I don't know.
There's no one in that building. You ain't got nowhere to go. You come out in sweatpants. She ain't dressed up for nobody. Bayley didn't dress up.
She actually did. She posted on her Instagram. She got like a slight haircut because I guess the haircut people in the back, but you didn't get to see the back of her hair.
That's a haircut, Eric. She ain't wearing nothing special.
So she's got a Shazam arrow on the back of her head.
Yeah. So Manny, were you invested with Charlotte putting the dissension between Bayley and Sasha? I mean, everyone seems to be trying to stir the pot.
I love when people try and drive wedges. You had the Kayla Braxton last week trying to drive a wedge. You got Charlotte now. Charlotte definitely drove a wedge because you saw it on You saw it on Sasha's face. But you forget one thing that Charlotte said is when she came out and said, I'm on SmackDown, and it's because I'm 5'10", blonde, a superior athlete. I'm forgetting something. Did anyone go fake tits and white?
No.
Other than
No.
I honestly was like, I kind of went there.
Let's not forget about the grill too. She got the grill, like the fake teeth. I can't stand the fake teeth. I hate the fake teeth. Like,
But she went with the fact that what everybody hates Charlotte for, and you know, it was nice being self-aware. Is you hate Charlotte for all these reasons, literally everything she said.
They announced next week we're getting Charlotte versus Bayley, like NXT champion versus the women's SmackDown champion. Is it the Universal Women? What is it called?
The
SmackDown Women's Championship.
Yeah, it's just the women's champions. Okay. But what I'm upset if I'm Rhea Ripley and Io Shirai, who Rhea Ripley had words for Charlotte this week. But if I'm Io, I'm really upset that I do not get my rematch. Where the fuck is my rematch? She just went back to her basic brands. She's on SmackDown and I can't go there.
Why does Io need a rematch? She got the win, man. She won.
She got disqualified.
Yeah.
He wants the title.
That was a title match.
Yeah. She had her shot, Marcus. She got one opportunity from that ladder match. I'm sorry. She got to start back climbing up that bottom of the run. I mean, because technically,
but she won.
But when you go through the hierarchy, Marcus, technically, with Rhea being back, she's entitled to her rematch before Io gets a rematch.
No, they don't. They took that rule out years ago. But what I'm upset with is that the treatment of the Japanese wrestler and professional wrestler. They fight for this number one contender spot, and people don't give them that number one. She'd have to wait 11 weeks, 12 weeks to get a title shot. And I feel like she's going to get screwed by Nia Rose as well. And they need to treat the Japanese wrestlers with more respect. And I know Asuka's the champion right now, but she wouldn't have got a title shot from Becky anyway if she didn't win that Money in the Bank. This is outrageous, and I'm saying the wrestling world needs to start treating these Japanese women with more respect.
Okay. But what about the Japanese men? Because next week, Nakamura is going to job out to, he's going to lose the Styles. We won't say job.
It's not a job. He's going to lose.
I know,
he's going to lose.
That's why
in the finals, have to be AJ and Daniel Bryan.
I don't think AJ is going to progress. I think AJ still got beef with the Undertaker.
He got PTSD.
Well, with that being said, there's no reason to talk about Dana Brooke defeating Naomi or the Forgotten Sons explaining their philosophy and becoming true villains on SmackDown.
I feel like you do need to talk about Naomi because that is a woman that's clearly given up. Because she could have kicked out. Her offense is primarily leg-based. You telling me there's no strength in those legs to kick out with that Dana Brooke's white ass all over her face?
I want to point out that Charlotte put the groundwork of how you get victory. Blonde, roughly around 5'10", fake boobs. That's why Dana Brooke got the win.
Last name Flair. Don't forget that part.
Yeah, but it was somebody probably named Mr. Brooks back in the day that could get Dana this win.
But like Albert Brooks?
Yeah, why not?
The actor?
I'm just saying.
But oh, go ahead. Say what you're saying.
I didn't say it because Manny brought this up. So Marcus, go ahead. I was.
They're gonna turn Naomi heel because they're turning Sasha face, and they need somebody to fill the black heel spot.
But Naomi is not even on Raw.
This is SmackDown.
Oh,
Sasha's a SmackDown wrestler. What? Raw's doesn't do any of this.
I thought you said Asuka. So you think they're gonna turn? They can't.
You and your Japanese women, man. You obsessed.
They can't turn Sasha face. Just
Sasha will. What else is she gonna do when she turns on Bayley? Bayley ain't turning face. That doesn't make sense in this storyline.
Bayley's turn to heel and make no sense anyway.
People are talking to Sasha, to stop being Charlotte's lapdog. And once she stopped that means Sasha turns face and she gets cheered. And you act like if Bayley and Sasha feud, Sasha's not going to be the one to get cheered no matter what.
Maybe. Manny, you have anything to add before we move to the strongest show this week, in my opinion?
No, let's move to Raw.
So, Monday Night Raw took place, and I'm just going to say it right now. The reason why I think Monday Night Raw was so successful of being an entertaining show this week is that it had one thing that the other shows did not have. It had a very strong narrative. Coming into the show, it's just that it was Becky's pregnant. Becky relinquished her title. So the main show title was Becky is having a baby. And everything else fell in line after that. And I thought that was a very good thing that directed the show.
Can I title Raw the Messiah and the Mom? Or the Mom and the Messiah?
Yeah, I mean, it could be that because, like, throughout the night, you had other things that happened, but it all involved with Becky announcing that she was pregnant. And I think, to me, the biggest MVP of the night of getting their character across as a badass was Shayna Baszler. I mean, if you want to say, like, when they asked her about the baby and she referred to the baby, the man...
You have a quote.
Huh?
You have the quote. I gotta read this directly. You gotta put your glass. You gotta go to the glasses. You gotta go to the glasses.
I don't have
well, she basically called Seth a piece of shit.
Let me read the quote exactly. She added that 10 out of 10 women will claim becoming mothers didn't ruin their careers. She said Becky became the longest reigning Raw's champion, then threw it all away to have some miserable parasite. She said the man is going to be a fat style on the couch with bonbons. She said the kid will be a loser because of the dad. I rest my case. And, you know, I just want to point out, Shayna was savage, but she didn't end her night right then and there because she went after somebody else. But I'll let you guys speak on this. Becky being pregnant, Marcus, and Shayna letting the bitch know. I don't care. How do you feel?
Well, who was more savage, Shayna or Jim Cornette? Who was
Jim Cornette
Becky?
went in.
I don't even know what his issue is. Like, he took this personally.
It sounds like he was just like, he can't have a baby.
Or something. I don't know what happened here. He's like, cost $1 million. It's not like Seth is broke. It's not like she's broke. It's not like they really need this money. I was really perplexed about his comments. But he took Shayna's comments and turned that to like, oh, you're a poopy face. That's what Shayna was. And then Jim Cornette could say he'll promo as if he has a program coming up with Becky. It's like, I can make some money when she come back. But no. Shayna was an absolute savage this week, and I respect everything she said. She told her baby was going to be stupid and a failure, and that's mostly because of the damn dad. That he's going to be a deadbeat dad. Yeah, and a parasite. And I look forward to Seth being a deadbeat dad if they play it that way. With that being said, I really like the Becky revealing she had the moment, but it turned into the Money in the Bank match being more like the end of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory to me, in which they didn't know they were playing to keep the whole mansion for themselves, and Asuka came out. She was like, what? I'm the champ? Oh, shit. I'm happy for that. But I thought her reaction was ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous. I don't know if anybody would accept the title that way and be like, what the fuck are you talking about, the champ?
I'm glad she did it that way, to be honest. I would. But you've seen people been handed titles before, like when Triple H got handed the World Heavyweight title by Bischoff. He just took it like he was, I'm the champion. No, I want a full-fledged celebration like Asuka had.
I feel like it was the wrong time. She should have did that in the back. And because it felt like this was Becky's moment of like being emotional and stuff, and her dancing around in an empty arena just to feel it. Like like when people were coming over to congratulate Becky, I wouldn't mind seeing Asuka pour champagne on herself with Kairi Sane in the corner, like we did it.
So, Marcus, this is where I disagree with you, because I think that the whole idea of the celebration of Asuka is that they're trying to equate Asuka winning the WWE Championship is just as big as someone finding out that they're pregnant and becoming a parent for the first time. So I felt that like Asuka first is surprised that, hey, oh shit, I am the champion. And then she's like, you're pregnant? Oh, congratulations. Like, I've hated you, Becky. And then she goes on to celebrate. And the next thing you know, Becky has a moment. Because once you announce
that's the part I'm okay with. I'm talking about the original celebration. When she runs around the arena and jumping on tables and shit.
I'm not going to stop
I
somebody.
feel like that was a bit over the top.
Marcus,
that was a bit over the top.
Mark, if you open up a briefcase and find out that you had $10,000, your celebration gonna be over the top too. I think you're the only one that have issues.
What's the catch?
You don't have no issues with the celebration.
I gotta figure out what's the catch.
Manny, do you have issues with the celebration?
No, I love the celebration. I feel like it was worth it. It's the only reason we got that celebration is because Becky told the whole story wrong. If Becky alluded to there's a reason this is happening, it's because I can't wrestle anymore. It's because I'm going to become a mum, and then open the briefcase, you wouldn't have got that reaction if you didn't want to see that reaction. Or you could have had Becky go to Asuka. This is the combination of thing. Open it at the back, and let Becky walk off and have a movement.
It wasn't even about the conversation, she took the briefcase from her. Becky walked out with the briefcase, and Asuka was like, "That is my briefcase," as if she kidnapped her baby after birth.
Yeah, but
do you think the original briefcase had an IOU?
Well, at least it wasn't like Sheeta's missing kendo stick that she didn't even realize was leaving. I mean, like, it was something that the briefcase, and then they kind of explained why she had the briefcase because she put that lock on there, and that's why she couldn't open it up. And I thought it was a plausible story. But I
enjoyed the lock and everything else. I thought the celebration was just too much in the empty arena. It just didn't work for me. Her celebration was just too much. But post the celebration, I was like, oh, the hug, and it's like, you're going to be a mother? And I was like, oh, that's dope.
Clearly,
I keep hearing myself, though.
Clearly, you don't like Japanese women being happy about becoming champions. But whatever, Marcus, I'll let that go, and I'll let that slide. But
Can we just drop back to Shayna going back to Natalya at the back?
No, I'm gonna get there. Don't worry, we're gonna get there because well, I might as well get there right now because later on the night,
chewed out her ass.
Later on the night, Shayna has a match with Natty, and Natty comes up to her like, "How dare you talk about that baby?" Blah blah blah, and she says, yeah. She said, "What do you know about motherhood? Because you'll never be a mom. The Hart Dynasty dies with you." And I'm like, "Damn, bitch, why you so ruthless tonight? You killing folks left and right."
Well, if you watch WWE Chronicle, she said she doesn't know what's going to happen if she does not win that title. Apparently, she became a ruthless savage that says the meanest shit. I believe she just became the top heel in the game with these comments and destroying the Hart legacy, too. She killed the Hart legacy. She killed Natty in the ring. Natty cried at the end of her match.
It's true. Other than Tyson Kidd, what does Natty know about having a kid?
She got cats, man. She got cats. I don't know. And I'm a person that you don't have to have kids to know about having kids. Yeah, I'm going to stay with that. But speaking of someone who may not be too excited about having a kid, like the Becky announcement affected others as people went to the back and congratulated them. Rey Mysterio was the first one to congratulate Becky Lynch on, being a mother will change you and make you do things that you never thought. So Eric,
before you go further, Rey Mysterio explained how he didn't die at Money in the Bank. At first, I call bullshit right away. You died, Ray. Just tell me you died.
But when you look at the building helicopter shot, you do see that little 6 feet section where he got thrown on at. So I mean, it makes sense. But my story,
he was like Aleister Black fella next to me. At that moment, we decided to become a tag team tonight.
No, the thing was like Ray said after I was thrown off the building, I was like, I need to climb back up to go and get my title. But then Aleister fell next to me. And then I was like, and so that stopped you from going back up? Like, did you try to attend to Aleister wounds? Like, what happened? did you feel good because you weren't alone anymore? Like,
I like to think it was a saving moment. Like in action movies, when people get thrown off something, then they put their hand out, they catch him, and he's hanging them all. He's like, hang on! He's like, come on, Alice, you can do this. And Alice is like, just drop me, man. Go get the belt. Go get the belt. And he's like, no, I'd never let you die. But, I don't think Rey Mysterio can hold up Aleister Black. I think they both want to continue.
I'm beginning to think that Rey Mysterio may be the Isaiah Thomas of the WWE locker room because I don't understand why so many people tried to kill him in the last week. First, he was choked out by Shayna. Then Corbin threw him off of a building. And then we have my favorite fallout from Becky announcing that she is pregnant is that Seth Rollins lost his goddamn mind. And Marcus and I were having conversations. We was like, maybe Seth doesn't think he's the father. Maybe he doesn't know what's going on. But it became a tag match later in the night where Rey Mysterio teamed up with Aleister Black going against Rollins and Murphy. And it just led to Rey Mysterio losing an eye. I don't know why he lost his eye.
Rey Mysterio's having the worst week of his life.
But Marcus,
he almost died.
Now,
he was choked out by Shayna Baszler in the Money in the Bank. He ran into Brother Love in the bathroom. And then, like, it's the worst week of Rey Mysterio's life. And then he congratulates Seth on becoming a father. He's like, it's going to change you, man. You're going to be a good man. You're going to be a good man. Seth don't want to hear that shit right now. He out of his mind. He ain't the father. He know it. It's Buddy Murphy. He's like, we ain't fucked in like 2 months. How am I the father? But, so... when Rey Mysterio decides to do a cheap shot in Seth in this main event for no reason. Seth's like, I'm not going to get involved. I don't think I want to wrestle tonight. Rey Mysterio goes for a jab in his stomach to see if he's alive. And then Seth pulls him off the ring, which forces the referee to do a DQ. I didn't know that was a rule. This guy made this shit up because he wanted to go home. There was no reason for that to be a DQ.
Apparently, yeah, so apparently this is a Vince rule where if you're the illegal man, you are not allowed to attack the legal man unless you've been tagged in and within the 5 count or to break up a pin. Otherwise, it results in a disqualification. But I've never seen that ever adhered to.
Hey, it's called Vince's
like,
rule.
I mean, a lot of times... when the referee is trying, when people are getting attacked in the corner by the outside man, the ref back is turned. But I've still never seen this damn rule. This is all bullshit. All bullshit. Rey Mysterio lost an eye because that referee got overzealous with his disqualification. And it's the same. These referees are out of control. That's why Bobby Lashley got DQ'd. This is bullshit. 100% bullshit. But Rey Mysterio lost an eye for this shit, man.
Manny, I have a question.
When he asked the doctor, just take the mask off, man. I don't give a fuck.
Who
I lost my eye.
their eye better, Rey Mysterio or Jon Moxley?
Who sold the eye better?
Who lost the eye better? Who had the better way of losing the eye?
Is it wrong to say the other guy from Pride and
Santana?
Santana?
My puppy is blind.
My puppy was blind.
My puppy is blind.
Clearly that did not happen, but I made it up to make it seem like it happened, but you know, shit happens.
In villainy school, where does this taking an eye ranks? What year in school do you go when you start gouging eyes and taking eyes out?
That is year 3 in the program, Mark.
Because
right here, you have finally accomplished that part of the curriculum where you have captured your arch rival, and now you have him tied up. And before you take out the eye, you have to give the villain speech that you outline your entire plan of what you plan on doing. And right before you take the eye out, your arch nemesis escape. It's really ridiculous. But, villainy schools tries to right all the wrongs from the past of people escaping. But
can I tell you my favorite moment of the Ray loses the eye? Is when Buddy walked over and was like, "Hey man, what's up?" Back the fuck up. I was like, "Back up." F you up too. No shit.
My favorite moment had to be when we're back in the trainer's room and Aleister Black is by the side of the now eyeless Rey Mysterio. And then
I saved his life on the roof.
Yeah, Seth Rollins walks into the door and he's like, "What happened? What happened?" And
hey, I don't know what happened.
That's what I did out there.
Seth Rollins and says, "You know what happened." And then, Seth walks past him, and next thing you know, I see Buddy Murphy catching hands for no reason. Buddy Murphy caught the Aleister Black ass whooping for no reason. It was just like, why is Buddy Murphy getting beat up in this situation?
It was for the history. He's a disciple. You got beat up because you with him, okay? Buddy and Aleister have had beef for a long time. They have. And then on top of that, Aleister understands that Seth is a new father, so he doesn't want to take that away from Becky and the child. He doesn't want to do that. But Buddy ain't got nothing to lose. I'll fuck Buddy up.
So, like I said, that the narrative of Becky's pregnancy was the main storyline, but then Raw incorporated so many other storylines that were quite interesting to discuss about. Like the next thing
Where do you feel they're going with Seth, though? Do you think that is he upset about the baby? Is it his, or is he just going crazy because he's about to be a father? What do you think is going on?
I don't really have an idea what's going on. That's why I'm just gonna sit back and wait and try to, you know, immerse myself in this storyline.
I want him to be a deadbeat dad. I want him to never claim this baby throughout the rest of his career and say that is not my child. And I want him to get that heat of I'm your poppy or whatever, and who's the daddy. But I want him to forever go like Steve Jobs went with his kid and be like, I don't have no kid. Fuck it.
But is it wrong? Is it wrong that I want R-Truth to be the dad?
Well, I mean, or Mark Henry's handson. But like the thing about it for me is that like
I want to be Rey Mysterio, and then we all come back and go, damn, that was what he was doing. He was really pissed about that.
I'm assuming they're going with the whole split personality situation because like on his Instagram account, he posted a picture of Becky holding up the pregnancy test, talking about this is the most beautiful moment that we've ever had, and then WWE
Instagram accounts are real. No, they're real on there.
But then WWE reshared the picture, so I'm just like, what are we doing here? Like, I don't know. So that's why I'm just gonna wait and happen.
People are real on their Instagram.
But the one thing that I know is about to happen is that there's dissension in the Vega Boys clan. Zelina Vega is losing control of her posse.
She did lose total control. Ganging up on the white man.
It's clear that Theory is the odd man out of this group, and I can
wonder why.
I'm happy that this is happening because he did not fit. I would have rather seen Humberto Carrillo come there, even with all the issues that he's had with Vega and the boys, instead of having Theory there. Marcus, so does Theory, once he gets the boot, does he go back to NXT or does his career still flourish on Raw?
I think he needs to go back to NXT. He was only there as a substitute wrestler for Andrade or Garza. I forget which one. I think it was Andrade, right? Yeah, because Andrade got suspended. Yeah, he was filled in for Andrade. He didn't fit. So Zelina Vega needs to understand she needs to manage her team and do a trade and get Phantasma or Raul Mendoza into her crew. Or something that will fit. Because Austin Theory did not fit. But I enjoyed the match of Garza just talking shit about Theory. Talking about, I can do this all day. I can do this all night. I can do this all week. Shit, I do it all year. And then looking at him, and then you see Andrade laughing like, damn, he clowned this fool. And then they threw him into Drew McIntyre, and they start laughing again.
Yeah.
So clearly, they did not like Austin Theory.
And they all got the Claymore, and then, Andrade led to a match with Drew McIntyre, which was a solid match. Manny, are you happy to see Theory being kicked out of the group?
I'm not happy. Like I still was quite liking that triangle of what did we call it?
I don't remember what we called it, but I think they peaked too soon when they put their fist up in the air. They peaked too soon.
I honestly wanted to call him AAA or something like that. Like the actual
AAA. AAA Mexico, guys. No, you can't do that.
Now they're getting rid of the vanilla. It's not cool.
It's a tragedy in itself. So that happened, but I think something that was close to Marcus and I heart was that Raw had a lot of blackness things that were happening on
blackness.
Raw. And before I talk about the good blackness, let's talk about the white man can't jump hustle segment of the pickup game between the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders.
Can I chime in? This is the most enraging segment of the week for me.
I'll let you go, Mark. So I was going to throw it to Manny first. But
go ahead. Go to Manny. I'll contain my rage.
You have rage in your heart. We're not here to tell
No. I control it. I've been controlling it for, 5 days, 6 days, whatever it's been. I'll let Manny go.
Manny, I don't know how invested in basketball that you are, but this pickup game between the Street Profits and the Viking Raiders, did it generate any type of excitement for you?
Well, it was different. And then I did get Saxton singing Bow Wow Basketball, which I didn't really enjoy. There's something I didn't need to hear in 2020. But the world's ending, so I assume I must have needed to hear it. And then it just, whose idea was to put this on? Like, I know there was no live sports for a very long time, but this did not need to happen.
I felt that it had potential, and it was fine. But I knew what was very dependent on this whole segment was actually how much could Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins actually play ball. Like, could they ball? And the sad part about it, they couldn't. Like, when you saw the segments of them trying to outball the Viking Raiders, like watching Montez Ford dribble was painful. Watching D'Angelo do layups was like, man, these guys don't have any type of form. And then once the Viking Raiders showed that they had a hustle, and I saw Hanson's jump shot, I was like, Hanson looks like he got a jump shot. That was a pure jump shot to me. Marcus, you're squinting at me. Seems like your frustration look like you're about to be Stephen A. Marcus, go all Stephen A. on us right now.
I don't know if I can pontificate how much I hated this segment.
Ooh, pontificate.
Yeah. It is as a 9, as a 10, as a 12. Okay? So the fact is, this is what I'm upset about. I was all down for this segment. I was 100% down. We hadn't had basketball in a long time. You know what? It was nice to see a ball go through a hoop. It was nice to see people dribble. And I was happy. I was really excited, okay? I mean, the only basketball I'm getting is from the Jordan Last Dance documentary, and that's 30 years old. And so when they said I was getting a 2-on-2 pickup game, I was like, let's see it. Let's watch the boys dribble. And they were selling that the Viking Raiders knew nothing about the game of basketball. And I was all for the segment. I was like, it's going to be a comedy segment. It's probably going to end in some fight or something. But that's how most pickup games end anyway. So I thought it was going to be one hard foul. So they get to the game, and lo and behold, the Viking Raiders are getting their ass beat. Absolutely destroyed. And I know you're talking bad about the Street Profits game, but Eric, I will implore you. That is every person on the court that is playing at the park right now. That's how we ball. That was it. Dawkins does a layup like I do a layup. We too big to actually get up there into it, so we kind of go up and it looks like an awkward underhand. So I wasn't upset with the basketball part. Everything came at the end. The enragement, the frustration of the Viking Warriors losing in the game and the check. It was all like. I was fine with that. But at the end of the day, when the Viking Raiders scored and the Street Profits celebrated that they won, that should have been the end of the segment. The extra footage was the worst extra footage I've ever seen in my life. Like, oh, we were hustling you guys. We can beat you guys at anything. We can actually play the game of basketball. I didn't believe it. It was absolutely stupid to come back to it after that. And then I thought they were going to come back to a fight. And that the Viking Raiders going to beat them in a fight. And it continued the storyline. But no, it was stupid. And I hated it. And I want to say it was racist. And yes, I'm playing the race card. I'm a black man in America. And that the white man had to see them beat those black guys in basketball. And I was upset. And I was demoralized. And I almost quit wrestling. I almost quit wrestling in basketball because of this segment.
Almost quit. What were you, Leo Rush?
Yeah. I'm Leo Ruff.
Manny, since you brought up Leo Rush, I understand there's some type of I don't know what's going on, but I saw that he challenged Mark Henry to invite him on the podcast. Like, what type of shit is going on with Leo Rush? And
I don't know anything about that. I know he's selling this prototype of a mask where he looked like a bug, which he tried to pitch to Triple H, and Triple H said no. Other than that, that's all I know about what's going on with Leo Rush.
Okay, then it's not that important.
No, what's going on is they're having issues in which Mark Henry went to him because Leo Rush had heat and Mark Henry was in the back. It's like, hey, what's up with this heat going on with you? Maybe I could help. And Leo Rush kind of like blew him off and said nah, and lied to him and said, nah, I ain't got no heat on me. And Mark Henry was like, why you gotta lie to me about this? I know, I'm talking to people. And so they have this whole issue of where they disagree with a lot of stuff. And he's inviting them to his podcast. Mark Henry invited to his show. And they just want to argue. I believe it's just to sell stuff.
Okay, that's always good. So, speaking of selling stuff, the best salesman in the game had also another part of another one of my favorite segments of Monday Night Raw.
Mark Henry was counting his money. That was the real big issue. Sorry. I couldn't remember what it was. Mark Henry started counting his money.
Why do you
Because Leo Rush had no money, and he was like, I ain't got no money. Yeah, I cut you off.
You gotta understand.
Boom,
Man.
that's all I do. You have the controls. You can cut me off. You can hit the mute button anytime and go full screen.
I didn't want to hit the mute button because I was working on a perfect segue that you destroyed again. But
you can edit it out in post. You can edit out in post.
No, I'm not, because that's a lot of work. So the Bobby Lashley MVP dynamic was by far my favorite dynamic of all the Monday Night Raw, because if Manny, you may not understand this, but as a black man, MVP was the black man that will lead you to your downfall in life. So, you know, Bobby Lashley destroyed Humberto Carrillo to right a wrong, and then next thing you know, MVP's in the background, and he says, you know what? I like what I saw. I want you to stay angry. He said that full Nelson impressed him, and he asked the question, why are you fighting Humberto Carrillo when we got outsiders fighting the champions next week? What's going on, Bobby? Who is handling your management? And in so many ways, he said that white woman is holding him back. And then when he saw the said white woman, she just yelled. And I was like, oh, shit, they planting seeds. I was like, I don't know what seeds that they're planting.
Well, I don't even know if he blamed the white woman. I think he just blamed Bobby and everything that's going on in Bobby's life. Bobby's whole career went wrong.
He asked,
and he was trying to guide him the promised land.
Marcus, he said, when is Lashley going to let Lashley out? And he said, I'll allow you to marinate on that. Any black man that tells you, I want you to marinate on something, you know they won't know good. Marcus, I need you to marinate on this.
Well, the only thing that he did that, to me, it was the woke brother talking to the other brother, yes. Like, look what's going on around you, about and he's like, why don't you use your head and think? When's the last time you had a title shot? 2007? Bobby, I was around then. I was in the States. You were in the same spot you were 13 years ago. You ain't no different, man. Use your head.
And so, Manny, what made the segment even more funny, because Marcus called him woke brother, is that we later on go to the 6-man tag, and you have the blackest tag team of Ricochet, Cedric Alexander, and R-Truth going against...
No, Pretty Ricky.
Yeah, Pretty Ricky. Going against woke MVP, teaming up with his two white Australian friends, Shane Thorne and Reggie Z. And then, you know, this match happens, but then Bobby Lashley comes out and wreak havoc, and R-Truth, and next thing you know, MVP was like, well, I got me a new meal ticket. F you white boys. I'm going to make some money with Bobby Lashley. Did you understand that dynamic, Manny? Because I know I did, and I enjoyed every second of it.
I feel like everyone knows, like, you look at the physique of Bobby Lashley, you think meal ticket. And obviously, MVP needs money. That's a meal ticket.
He's really representing that, yeah. So, I believe they need they're forming this group, and it's the best for Bobby Lashley's career. It's the best for MVP's career, and I think they need one more to reform the Beatdown Clan. And I know they're not going to bring in Low-Key for that 1 million time at any company, so he can quit on you again. But I think that if you add Denzel, Desjardins,
here we go,
to their group, you got a team.
It doesn't always have to be a black guy, Marcus. They can find somebody else that he can.
Brandon Vink, then. You want Brandon Vink? You can have your Brandon Vink.
I really don't want Brandon Vink, but whatever. So we only have 2 more things to talk about on Monday Night Raw. We're already 7 minutes over my allotted 2-hour time, but whatever. We're having a great time. Villain University really took over a lot of time in this. You know, hopefully they'll send me a check to help pay for
the one thing about villains is they never have good time management.
So
they always leave enough time for the hero to save the day.
So this next segment is just so Marcus can be very happy, because 2 individuals made a return that Marcus has been missing for a long, long time. Marcus, we got the
iconic
on video. That was amazing because you guys were almost in sync. The Iconics returned. They fought Cross and Bliss, and goddammit, I will say that I don't know if the time off did the Iconics some well, but they looked really good in the ring. And I was like,
look terrible.
Maybe I just hate Bliss and Cross being together. I don't know, but I was very happy with their match with each other.
Gotta be joking me, right?
Go ahead, Marcus.
You gotta be joking me.
Gotta be joking me, right? But Raw's being taken over by every Australian they can find, and it's amazing. You have Buddy Murphy, you got Brandon Fink, Shane Thorne, and now the Iconics are back. Then Aussies need to all team up together and call themselves the Aussies and kill everybody.
Or how about the Down Under clan? No? Okay. Cricket?
No.
Okay.
No. But I'm glad they're back, and I hope they take the tag team titles to get a real tag team, women's tag team together, and enough of this Bliss Cross applesauce shit.
Marcus, the thing is, Bliss and Cross is a real tag team, Marcus, because Alexa can't be by herself.
Since when?
Since she hasn't turned on Cross. Right, Manny? They're a real tag team, right?
I don't like Cross. I really don't like her. And I feel like at some point she's going to lose her name anyway because you've got Karrion Kross in the company now.
Well, his is with a K. Different crosses. You know, it's very rare when you have two people with the same last name. Just spelled differently.
Well, I guess we'll just come to the main event on Monday Night Raw, which I think was probably the best main event ever. And that was just Edge and Randy Orton talking. And when you get down to
I was trying to think if there was another match. I was like, I don't remember this.
When you talk about the meat and potatoes of a petty feud, that is what you bring up with Edge and Randy Orton. Edge comes out to the ring. He says some words. Randy Orton comes out to the ring. He says, you know what, Edge, you are a better man than me. And we can all agree that Randy Orton is correct. Edge is a better man than Randy Orton could ever be. But then Randy Orton takes it to another level. He says, I am the better wrestler.
He hit him with that.
I mean, yes, Edge won the match, but he didn't win a wrestling match. He won a street fight. So, if you're a man, Edge, go ahead, Manny.
I think you're missing the other line. It's like, you may have smashed my head between two chairs. But it didn't take me 9 years to come back.
It was some shit, like, it was a bunch of major shit, and then he challenges him to the worst thing that you can ever challenge anybody to in a professional wrestling environment, and that is a professional wrestling match.
Dang, in the ropes.
In the ropes, man. I mean, like, these are people are gonna follow the rules. You can't have Aubrey from AEW referee this match because you need to follow the rules to the T. Marcus, were you happy with this petty shit of Randy Orton just saying, I'm a better wrestler?
One, you can clearly see that he went to ability school because the whole "you the better man" and he walked away. Rule number one in ability school: you make your the hero think he's won, but you always have that trump card. You tell him, Edge, you can't wrestle. You had to pull all the tricks out, and I thought it was really good. The part that I thought was interesting was the magically appearing Chuck, who I didn't know came out of left field and just said, gentlemen, this match happens. Might be the greatest wrestling match I've ever seen. And I go, where did you come from with that, Chuck? He didn't even accept the match. Edge didn't want none of that. So I'm looking forward to a wrestling match. And I have a new theory on this, but I'll let Manny talk.
No, I just think that it was a great promo. But then, because Edge didn't say anything, it felt like it was left to Chuck to fill in the awkward silence. So, like, Chuck didn't even need to say any of that stuff. But then it's because Edge decided to, like, leave an awkward silence of, like, maybe he is the best. Maybe he is a better wrestler than I am.
Chuck thought we were off the air.
How many people get challenged to a wrestling match in pro wrestling, though? No one gets challenged to a wrestling. It's like, when you get challenged, it's always like, no holds barred. Falls Count Anywhere match. When someone challenges you, it's because, like, wrestling matches just happen. You show up, hey, you have this match. But no one never says, you know what, grand finale? I'm going to wrestle you today. I want to wrestle you. No one says that.
Sounds awkward. I'm going to wrestle you to the ground. Okay. They said they want to fight. But the number one thing about this is that I saw a trend in WWE programming this week. And it was odd for me. They were using the term wrestling a lot. In the Daniel Bryan promo, he was talking about, I want to make the Intercontinental title prove that I'm the best wrestler in the world. And then you got Edge and Orton talking about, we're going to have a wrestling match on a wrestling show. And then you have these two matches of, you have the match with Riddle and and Thatcher, I felt like the WWE might be getting back into the wrestling business.
Well, like I said, they really benefited from having a strong narrative, and they just had to book around the show. Like this is what we want to talk about on the show. Becky's pregnant. What can we fill in around Becky being pregnant? Well, we can throw Seth might have mixed emotions about this. Then we can throw in Bobby Lashley with he's finally not realizing that he's not getting the respect that he deserves. We have the return of the Iconics, who wants to bring the gold back to Raw. Then you have Edge and Randy Orton.
I didn't know where you were gonna say there.
In a wrestling match. It's like you had so many things that it was enough for everybody to find something to latch on and enjoy. Compared to when you go to AEW, what was the real narrative of that show? When you go to NXT, what was the narrative of that show? And SmackDown had a narrative, but I don't think I really cared about Otis searching for a tag team partner when he has a tag team partner. I mean, the biggest disrespectful thing that took place on SmackDown for me is when the Titantron played for Heavy Machinery and they removed all remnants of it. Just said Otis. It had the stuff in the background. I was like, oh, Tucker Knight is gone. I was so bad.
Even Roman Reigns got the highlight of the night. Okay, even Roman Reigns was he's been cut out of all the programming, but in the highlight of the night, he's the first person you see. But they deleted Tucker Knight, and I wouldn't be surprised if he never show up again.
And the car drives by as it talks about Tucker Knight.
As Charlie Caruso would jump in and say, if Tucker Knight is gone, I think this could be the greatest thing in Otis' career. I just want Charlie Caruso to jump in on every segment like that. Just in every segment, it was like, I think that'd be the greatest thing I've ever seen.
With that being said, it is now time to come to the point of the show where we let the listeners chime in, and we have a few emails. Unfortunately, as soon as we concluded recording last week, the Disman had this distinctive effort to hit send on his email. So I will be reading the email from last week. I don't know if it's old. I don't know what it is, but we'll figure out what it is right now. It said,
okay.
It's the guy.
I'm going to run to the restroom. But continue talking. I can still hear you on my headset. But I'm going to disappear.
Oh, okay.
That didn't work.
Don't be talking while you're when you're in the restroom.
No, my microphone's in my room. It's separate from the headset.
We're just gonna hear him piss, man. It's the guy who puts syrup on his pancakes and eggs. The guy who likes to look at the ladies with nice legs. He looks with his eyes and not with his hands. It's the best-selling author, the Diz Man. What's really good, Sharpies? What's really good? In this installment of emails from the Diz Man, I wanted to take a break from one of my usual long-winded questions to do some plugs recommendation. Basically, just tell you about some things I feel you guys would like to indulge in. But first, I wanted to update everyone that I am halfway through the proofreading of my second book, AWO Big Time Players, Episode 2, Continuing to Grow. I really believe that this book is going to be better than the first one. Now, my first recommendation is my book, AWO Big Time Players, Episode 1, The Beginning of Change. It's available as an ebook and a paperback exclusively at Amazon. Also, I wanted to recommend that you get some AWO merchandise from chaoticstyler.redbubble.com. Also, there's another book I want to recommend that I had nothing to do with. It's called Headlock of Destiny by Samuel Gately. And it's a blend of fantasy and wrestling. I haven't finished it yet, but so far it's really good. Finally, you guys should check out the latest episode of Talk is Jericho, which featured the team formerly known as The Revival. The guys talk about their problems with WWE. They didn't bash the company, but it's proof that money can't buy happiness. I do have a fun question, and I have no idea why it popped into my head. Which of these three do you guys think is the biggest... Oh, wow. Which of these three do you guys think is the biggest freak? Asuka, Tamina, or Nia Jax, and why? Me personally, I think Nia is easily to persuade to do whatever, but Asuka and Tamina are going to take some work. Now, once they get there, it's all over but the shouting. However, I think Asuka can be clingy. Like, if you take her there and you don't call, she'll call you. If you don't call Tamina, she'll find you. Anyway, Sharpies, I'm going to go. You guys take care. Remember, keep walking through the storm because the rainbow is on the other side. Signed, the Disney. So, Manny, since you listened to my whole reading,
I listened to the whole reading.
I know, but you weren't in the picture. Manny, who do you think is the biggest freak out of Oscar, Tamina, and Nia Jax? I don't know why this is even a question.
I'm gonna go
Nia
Becky
Jax.
Lynch.
I'd probably say Nia Jax, and it disgusts me for saying it. Ugh.
What? The
Oh,
hat's
got
coming
the
down.
WrestleMania hat on.
Yeah, why not? Marcus, who do you have in this?
I'm going to say Oscar's the bigger freak. I've seen her channel on YouTube, and it's a lot of creative shit going on there. I feel like she'd be creative not only on her YouTube channel, but in the bedroom as well.
Because
Nia Jax just seemed like the creepy one. That's like, woman, we're done. It was one night. It was one night. But my real answer is Becky Lynch because she put the Raw back in Monday Night Raw.
no, that was Seth Rollins who put the Raw back in. Man. I'm just saying.
That was awful.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, he burned it down. Shit. Oh, I just love. I forgot someone had posted something that had Seth Rollins talking about this man don't protect anybody or something. It's how he ruined a lot of good stuff. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. It's he fucked another person out of the title.
Yeah, something like that.
No, I saw Seth Rollins isn't. Becky Lynch isn't the first Irish person. Seth has taken a title away from.
All right, our next email comes from Chris. He says the best part of these no fan shows is a closer interaction with the talent. No more of my fans reaction and more shots of that ass on Bailey. I'm all in. Congratulations on getting your AirPods back, Manny. I went through that struggle too, but didn't get mine back. So I purchased a new pair and now I have them clipped to my keys, never losing again. Eric, how in the blue hell are you? I'm doing well. Marcus, maybe the funniest podcaster going today. What's good?
There it is right there. Everything good, man. You know, I'm blessed. I'm happy to be alive. I love the funniest podcast with the downest comment ever. I'm just happy to be alive.
Now, while I don't necessarily agree with Eric's treatment of just replacing a black wrestler with another black and pretending it's the same damn person, I can't totally spank him for it either. Because I said something similar when Paige was going through her issue. I said, just replace her with Priscilla Kelly and don't make any acknowledgement of it being a different person. Hey, WWE, please get rid of Nia. This woman is going to seriously hurt someone someday and won't feel any remorse on doing it. If you want a big woman, go get Vanessa Craven. If you one who could work, sign Madison Eagles. I mean, don't they also have like Jordan Grace in TNA? I mean, she's pretty buff and stuff. So
you got what's her name?
They've got the big girl Piper Nevin in NXT UK.
Oh, okay.
Remember, she's the girl who they were doing the video packages. You didn't realize she was in the match when they were talking about Tony and Kaylee Ray.
You're right.
You were like, she's in the match? I thought that was somebody's mom.
But I think the thing about the whole thing with Nia Jax is just that being a Rock cousin gets you a lot of more leeway in the company and everything else. But whatever. He says he enjoyed his 2-week sabbatical. Then the crazy happened. On my Lyft ride back, the ride from hell, they really should have to pass some kind of mental test before they be allowed to do this service. Out of the blue, she starts going on this COVID rant and telling me if it's a conspiracy formed by the government, doctors, nurses, and the police. She mentioned how she saw hospitals rolling in mannequins as patients to scare people and treat them as COVID patients. This set off a code blue where none of the doctors or nurses will respond to it and just let the mannequins lay on the table to die. Then she asked me if I've been tested yet. I told her no. She tells me to never get tested because they are sticking probes into the patient's noses and leaving them in like Total Recall. So later on, they can program you to mill yourself or to kill others. Then there's no trace of the COVID. Do you have any idea how hard to keep a straight face as this woman ranted? Then she informs me that we shouldn't be using toilet paper because the government is using it as a means to kill us. But if we must use it, then we should limit ourselves to 3 to 4 uses a week. Finally, a few minutes later, my ride was over and I made it home safe. Jeez, I swear I'm a magnet for crazy folk. Y'all take care, and until next time, I remain hungry than the mug. P.S. Eric, you probably shouldn't mention people's last name in case their employer happens to listen to the show. I'm sorry about that. But
Whose last name you bring up?
I don't know.
The only person that talks about work in emails is him, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that was more so protecting himself.
Did you mention his name?
I don't know. You know, I talk a lot.
He
I don't know
always
what I say.
He always says Chris Royal. He never says Chris.
Oh, and then Mark just mentioned it now.
I was talking about.
Just want to point that out.
Well, you know, don't sign it. My recommended. I don't have access to any of the email. I probably do, but I don't look at them. But what I'm trying to say, I know, but I don't look at them. That's what I'm saying. But don't put your last name in the email because Eric just reads what he sees. He just reads off the teleprompter.
I really want Chris to have his own blog or something, an outlet of every time he deals with a crazy, because it just seems incredible that these people even exist.
I mean, like,
but these people.
This is where I wish Chris was on the show, because, like, if the lady says that you're only supposed to wipe your ass 3 to 4 times a week, did she smell like shit? That's my question, because if it's a toilet paper conspiracy, she's not wiping her ass either, right?
I also need Chris to engage these people. I need to know more. You can't just be listening to this shit. I need you to fully engage so we know full story what's going on.
He's taking notes. But let me get back to you on this question, Mr. Lyft Driver. Give me the details of what you do to wipe your ass. Oh, you have a bidet. Okay. But you don't use it. Oh, okay. Because the water is toxic and it controls your mind as well. Like, all that shit is batshit crazy. But there's all these YouTube conspiracy channels about the COVID and these fake websites. Man, people be reposting some nonsense. And I'm going like, man, that's some bullshit. So
it's also the people talking about how 5G is responsible for coronavirus. I'm just like, shut up. You have no proof.
I just, like, you know, COVID-19 is one thing. Once again, you told me to stay in the house. I don't care. I don't want to get sick. But I'm more concerned about the killer hornets. I mean, murder hornets is very, like, you know.
The murder hornets.
I feel like murder hornets might be another course in Billing University. It's like, this is how you put murder hornets on everybody. Like,
I'm just saying, murder hornets sound like a really good tag team name. We had the killer bees, but now we got the murder hornets.
Do the murder hornets come with their own little red dreadlock?
No, but they look dope. The murder hornets look dope. I like the eyes. They look like they're wearing sunglasses, and most of the time look like they're ready to smoke a pipe.
Yeah,
but the death of the murder hornets is crazy. That's how the bees kill murder hornets. They just swarm them until the murder hornets melt of heat and die.
But my question is, how long did it take the bees to figure this out? Like, how many queens got killed before the other bees figured out, like, this is how you take down the murder hornet? Because
it always starts at one.
Let me just tell you, this is the one time I wish the National Geographics had, like, a camera inside of these hives, because I want to see the murder hornet at work. Like, the way that they describe, like, he is fucking Steve Austin on steroids. They storm into the hive, they knock everything down, and they get the key, the queen, and they decapitate the key. This shit is a movie.
It's the murder hawk.
But I do have
the way wreck shit, and then they rape Brandy Rose.
Wow. The way Marcus described how the bees decide to swarm him is basically the Dave Chappelle joke of the guy jerking off on the bus.
and you
R. Kelly.
You ain't live life until you seen that in person, because I know it was something to see. So our last email comes from Classic D. He said, I had to explain to my kids how the man got pregnant. Go figure. Poor Sammy. I mean, every time he gets a push, he gets knocked right back down. I'm not going to judge him his despising making, but refusing the Saudi show.
Decision making, not despising making.
Marcus, I'm reading what's on the screen, okay?
I don't care. You know how to correct stuff. Don't read like Donald Trump and, can't.
I'm not going to judge his decision making, but refusing the Saudi shows, multiple injuries, not sacrificing the work during the pandemic. I mean, how much are you willing to bet he may be on the next list of cuts? He's proven unreliable. I'm just saying, imagine being that supervisor who sticks his knee,
neck.
No, he typed me. He sticks
his knee. I don't even have these letters,
only to get disappointed. I think this pandemic gives them the opportunity to do some crazy stuff. Why not give Tamina the world title? Why not do more crossover matches with NXT? Why not exercise unused talent on the roster? Where is the 24/7 title? In my opinion, testing the unthinkable gets people talking. What video games are getting you all through the quarantine? I have a non-wrestling question. My wife and I were watching the new Penny Dreadful and some other shows I forgot the name of. I'm curious, in Los Angeles, are those water canals that we see in movies easy for people to access and drag race on? I mean, I would figure everyone would access those for shortcuts. I told my wife they have to be illegal for people to drive, but over the years, a countless number of movies make it seem like something everyone does. Are there laws about driving in canals? Have either of you done it? Stay safe, and thanks for continuing to entertain us. Marcus, you were shaking your head up and down. Do you have experience of driving in the canals?
No, but I've seen it done a million times in movies. I've never seen nobody actually drive it. I've never seen nobody drive in the canals and do racing and stuff. That stuff, I feel like it probably happens, but I'm not in the race car game to see it. But they're very easy to access. You can just go there anytime. A lot of people use them as like bike trails and stuff like that as well.
I have seen people drive in the canals, Marcus. I have.
You've seen it?
Yes, I've
never seen it. I always wanted to see it. I always wanted to do it.
It's crazy as I don't know what, but yeah, they get down
That's
there.
like car parkour.
Yeah, I mean, they get down there. Manny, are there any canals that people can race in the UK?
Unless they're the rally racing type of canals, I don't think so, because a lot of the canals I have, like the one near me, is like an actual stream, which you can't. If you go in it, you'd probably, if you even step in it, you'd probably need shots.
Also, but if you drove in there.
Manny, are there any video games that are keeping you entertained, or are you not playing video games right now?
Playing on and off some video games, but it's more like I'm playing occasionally a bit of FIFA, a bit of Madden. Before anyone says that, I'm not willing to play anyone on Madden. I like to stay in my little non-simulated.
That's just the pros up there, man. It's scary.
Manny, I feel you on that, because when I play my NBA 2K20, like when I'm still losing to the computer on superstar mode, I know I'm not ready for no real person. So yeah, it's like
no, the average 2K players are trash. Yeah. Like everybody out here to talk good, like, oh, I'm this on 2K, I'm this on 2K, always beat their brains in.
Yeah, but you don't want to lose though. You just don't want to lose.
Well, I don't mind losing. It's so like I've lost and then not in the most convincing ways. Like I've been destroyed.
No,
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, like, when you playing online, it's either you dominate or you get dominated, and no one likes to be dominated because it's like the longest thing that you're waiting. It's like this motherfucker's still scoring touchdowns on me, and I haven't played Madden since 2018.
Well, the thing is about playing games online as a black man in America. When you play online, you're representing your entire race because you know you're going to get called the N-word, and now you have to beat the races. If you don't beat the races, you let your entire people down.
Okay, that's a very interesting perspective, Mark. You haven't played in a long time. I think the last
they still call people the N-word online. It ain't stopped.
I think the last time I played FIFA was when Manny beat me online, which he probably enjoyed a whole lot when he beat me in FIFA because I was garbage.
No, I think I was playing. Wasn't I playing Ryan? I don't think I was playing you. I played you in Madden once.
I know. I thought you played me in FIFA, man. I don't know. I haven't played online in such a long time. I was playing Animal Crossing, but I kicked the heroin yesterday that I just realized that I need to play me another game. So I'm either going to play Zelda, go back to that, or one of my other games. Because I spent almost 4 months playing The Witcher. So, Witcher 3. So I think I'm going to Zelda.
Back to
an old game.
Huh? What happened?
Oh, go ahead.
An old game.
Well, so
answer that.
Marcus,
I got it.
Mark, we finished all the wrestling, so now this is like anything but wrestling. Yeah, Witcher 3 is an old game, and I bought it for my Xbox, but I never turned it on. So they released it for the Switch, and I realized how great of a game it was playing it on the Switch because it really captivated my interest and stuff like that.
All right, Eric, just shut up. Manny, this is how Eric does video games.
Oh, here we go.
He goes, oh, they're coming out with a game. I need to get that right away. He'd go out at midnight or he'd get it the next day somewhere and he'd get it. And it'd be wrapped in plastic in the bag and then he'd just put it on his table. 8 months later, he goes, oh, This is a game. Oh yeah, I remember I bought this. Let me put it in now, and then won't play it for another 8 months. Oh, we about to get ass crack? Oh, we get ass crack. Here we go. So that's how Eric does games. He's just simply lets them sit there for like 8 months, and then all of a sudden he jumps right back into the game, just right back in, and it's absolutely scary. Oh, you didn't hear any of that? I forgot. You took
I was here to prove your point, Marcus, because this is Fallout New Vegas for the Xbox 360 right here, right? So I bought this. As you see, still wrapped in its entirety. So Marcus,
the way he lives his life.
I buy
but you didn't get the part when I start yelling, "Oh, we about to get ass crack. We about to get ass crack" when you bent over.
Did you get ass crack?
I didn't get any ass crack though. So
why'd you sound so disappointed about that?
I feel like
it. Manny, he hasn't seen me since this pandemic. He missed his ass crack. He know he did. Yeah,
I've seen way too much ass crack in my lifetime.
However,
man, ass crack.
Although 2020 has been a shitty year for everything else, it has been a pretty productive year for me not wasting money on video games that I don't play. So I think, if anything, I've only bought one game this year so far, and that's Streets of Rage 4. And I bought it for my Switch, but I really wish I would have bought it for another, because it's a game that you really need to play with other people. Like, it's so...
But as we go further, though, Chris had another question about Sami Zayn getting released. Do you see him leaving the company? We never answered that.
No, it's too much money.
Okay. No, me either. I think Vince likes him, and I think this is all just a part of the storyline, and he's okay with him being Kobe. Manny, how you feel? And then we get back to anything but wrestling.
I definitely think Vince likes him. I think it's just a matter of situation. I think Vince wants the title on TV, and if Sammy's going to be safe, and all credit to Sammy being safe, his health comes first. Yeah. He's got to have the title on TV.
Yeah, and I don't even think Vince wants the title on TV. I just thought it was something to put on TV. The Intercontinental title down around, give him a tournament. We can fill some hours of SmackDown.
It does give some compelling television. So I mean, you can't go wrong there. Manny, you have an Xbox, huh?
Yeah, Xbox One.
And Marcus, you have an Xbox One, huh?
Yes, but it really needs to be updated.
So the only way we could ever play Streets of Rage 4 together, we would all have to buy it for the Xbox One and play. But I think we would have fun. It's an old-fashioned beat 'em up, man. It's so.
How much does it cost?
I think it's like $20. Let me go find out.
Oh my God! We're in a pandemic, man. $20.
It's the man that splurged on a new webcam and microphone.
You know, every now and then I like to spoil myself. Okay, I like to spoil myself just a little bit.
Treat yourself.
Yeah. And this is all paid for by the government and my unemployment. Thank you very much. And I hope we get another stimulus check. Give me $1,200. Come on, send it. Pass that bill.
It's $24.99. Shit, you should buy me the game. You got more money than I do.
I do. Are you going to get your backyard done?
We're not going to talk about the backyard.
Oh, shit, you getting it done. You spending that money.
Ain't no way. I got 90 days to figure out how to get it done. If I'm going to get it done. But we're going to get other estimates, man.
You want to shoot digital craps? I wonder what people who, always shot craps on the corner are doing right now. They having Zoom crap games. It's like, I'll pay.
Yesterday, my friends, or was it Thursday, my friends and I, we played Categories over Zoom.
Yeah?
Yeah, that was fun, because...
I forgot what Categories is. Is that the word?
Categories is actually a fun game. I'm picking it up from Walmart today because Shantae's become addicted to it. So what it is, like, you have a list, right? And then you roll the dice, and then you have an amount of time to answer the questions on your list with words that start with the letters that was rolled on the dice. It's a very intriguing game. It makes you think. It's as you get older, you appreciate it. But when you're young, you're like, I want to play this shit. Give me some shoots and ladders. I ain't never played shoots and ladders, though. But you know what I mean. Or connect.
The ladders are the best part of the game. The shoots aren't that fun.
You know what game I can't stand? I can't stand Sorry. I hate Sorry.
Candyland.
I've never played Candyland, so I don't know.
Candyland is bullshit. Manny, do you have any games you play? Board games?
I did quite like Monopoly, and then I also like Life. Even though Life dumped 4 kids on you without any.
Any difference of the funness that you had. You know, I do enjoy Monopoly. I actually have Monopoly for my Xbox One. Like, I like playing Monopoly.
I don't know if we had our Monopoly discussion on the show. Eric, how do you like to play Monopoly?
I like to be ruthless. I like to buy.
No. Fuck all the ruthlessness.
Oh.
Just answer the question. Do you like playing with the rules that are custom, or do you like playing with the rules that they give you?
I like playing with a few customizations, but I'm okay with the foundation of the rules. But like the one thing that I customize is that the property is not auctioned when someone lands on it. Like, I feel like you have to land on the property to buy the property. No auctions involved. I'm also okay with money under free parking.
No, you always argue that you don't want the money under free parking. And then you always argue about going around the board the first time.
I think that is a foundational rule that you should go around the board once before you can buy a property. I just think that's...
Yeah.
Manny, how do you play?
So I like to play with the rules, but then I do like throwing a customization in there that, say if Marcus has 2 properties and he wants to buy the property I have so we can build houses, I like to throw the deal of, if I give you this and I land on it, I ain't paying shit.
See, nope, I don't like that customization. We can play with each other, Manny. Because
I enjoy making deals.
It's a negotiation.
Well, the only problem when we're playing Monopoly and we have a lot of people is that people always want to be side deal hustling. Like, I could be willing to dealing with somebody, and I'll make it a great deal. And then someone's like, how the hell you gonna do that deal? That deal's gonna mess up the game. Usually it's Marcus if he's not the one being dealt with. And then like, next thing you know, my deal is off the table. And you gotta understand, when sometimes you're dealing with a 10-year-old, it's kind of, you got a fragile ego, and you're trying to be a fair trade, not being a villain. You know, and that's another reason why I got kicked out of the
What's a 10-year-old?
Huh? Mark, I'm going back into time when we were playing Monopoly with younger people. You know, because, you know, last time we played Monopoly, we heard the words "fuck it" and just went on.
Yeah, if you guys didn't know, I said this on the show earlier about reference about when I said "fuck it," the cool Japanese moment. Someone, it was just "fuck it" in the middle of Monopoly, like "fuck it," and it was just, to me, it was the funniest thing ever. It was so funny because her English isn't the best. And it was out of nowhere, and everybody was like, "Oh shit, I've never heard her cuss before." But Monopoly got serious, man. When Monopoly got too real. But the thing was, no one actually cared about what happened. It's just 2 people were going at it.
Marcus, people cared. We were part of the team that didn't care, but the 2 people who were involved over the fucking moment, they cared about what.
But I was the one that rolled the dice before the purchase was made, right? Yeah, and so I ended up going like, I honestly don't care.
Yeah, but remember, I think Ryan was on the side of, this can't happen. And then, of course, the other 2 participants, Mark, I'm sorry. That was a very contentious, and the banker was not helping because he was instigating when he didn't need to be there. Man, it was almost a fight over Monopoly. It was serious, man. It's real. That's why, you know, growing up black, we've had fights at our house over domino games because people was cheating. What was that dude that
kicked cards?
Well, it was one of them, Mark, but he was kicking it by the tree. The rest of the whole engagement, because he was so mad.
Ernest.
Yeah.
Ernest. Smoking a cigarette, drunk as fuck, pissed off. Now I ain't talking to nobody else. I mean,
I just like getting to the stage. I just like getting to the stage of Monopoly where someone has to flip the table or flip the board.
When everybody's like, fuck it.
Or you have that petty person that know they don't have enough money to pay what they owe you, but they're gonna sit there and try to do all the math and let me.
That's you.
Oh yeah,
that's
me.
You.
If you
and you like 1, hold on, I think I got it. 2, and count the 1. All right, I got the 10 there, and then you pull out the 5s. 15. Oh, there's another 1. 16. Those are 10. 26. So, man, and I'm going like, are you serious?
The last game, Marcus got so pissed off at me because I think he had bankrupt me, but trying to get more money to pay off my debt, I went to Shantae. I was like, Shantae, are you willing to buy my railroad for $250? So I was selling property at the point so he couldn't get property when he broke me.
When you play with Eric and his wife, you always feel like they're working together.
No, we're not.
And they don't ever say it, but you can see that they have the connection, that they know what each other is thinking. All right, I'm gonna buy this railroad because she always needs to buy the railroads, and that's her weakness. She'll deal everything away just to get the railroads. And I'm like, it's the most useless person ever. I feel like there's always a secret handshake that's not being discussed. So the object is to always get Eric out the game first, which is always easy.
That ain't even true, man. You sitting
But
here lying and shit.
speaking of games, we should get a game of Taboo.
Oh.
Over Skype, it'd be me and Ryan, or it wouldn't be us. We have to like separate it because we'd be able to see the cards obviously over here and cheat. But we could probably do a Zoom Taboo game.
We probably could.
Or I will kick I'll kick everybody ass a Taboo.
Here we go. Well, we probably already kicked everybody ass with this 2-hour and 45-minute episode of the Sharpshooters Wrestling Podcast. So we've concluded the week. I thought we had a very productive show. I had a good time. I will see if the live stream actually worked.
I got one more question real quick.
Go ahead.
Because we failed to produce the recap Money in the Bank show. What did you guys think of Money in the Bank?
No, that magic has gone. The magic has gone.
Marcus, to quote you, it already happened, baby. I'm not going to live in the past anymore. I'm not. I'm not.
Manny, I don't know if we asked you this question. They do this versus thing. I don't know if you listen to hip hop or whatever, but do you think who you got, Ludacris or Nelly tonight in the versus over who has the best tracks?
See, the only Luda tune I would actually listen to is over and over is "Move Bitch."
Get out the way.
Yeah, and then I think I listen to more Nelly than I have Ludacris.
This is one of those things where it's very a dividing thing because, too much Nelly can make you sick. It really can. And I think it's gonna be a good matchup. I think Luda's gonna win because I think Luda has worked with more people. I mean, although Nelly could break out his Tim McGraw joint, but at 4:00, I show in after we run our errands. You thinking, Marcus?
Huh?
You're thinking?
No, I didn't think. I was saying I think Ludacris is gonna win, but I think that "Move Bitch, Get Out the Way" is gonna be his one of his big trump cards because that's gonna tilt the whole scene. Like Nelly can start off with Country Grammar and EI or something like that, or even maybe Air Force Ones. But as soon as he put out Air Force Ones, I put "Move Bitch, Get Out the Way." Whenever he seemed like he might be losing the track, I go with "Move Bitch, Get Out the Way."
I'm just saying. I'm looking forward to Tip Drill versus Pussy Poppin', 2 of the greatest strip club songs ever. And with that note, that concludes another episode of the Sharpshooters Wrestling Podcast. Once again,
you said that so confidently as well, and then segued out of it like no one was going to react to that.
No, it's whatever.
That's the end of the show, guys.
Since Marcus says I don't have a way to do it. So when I say I'm Eric, I'm going to let Manny announce his name, and then Marcus, you can conclude with Marcus the grand finale. Let's see how this works. So thank you guys for listening. I'm Eric.
I'm Lord Manny Hayes.
And I'm Marcus the grand finale.
And until next week, stay sharp. We did it until you said we did it. You still, we had it. Anyway, if you guys watch the live stream, thank you. If it works out, we will be live streaming next week as we preview the AEW pay-per-view that no one will probably be buying. On that note, stay sharp.
You're not going to buy it, but you going to watch it.